Tuesday, and we are live.
I'm back.
I think we're live. Oh, hello.
I'm back. I haven't been here in like 2 weeks.
Who are you again?
I know.
I think she lives here with you.
I do. I do live here.
I have someone living with me?
I know. It's amazing, right? Besides that cat.
I mean, I spend most of my time in here, so, this is all I really see, so it's just where I live.
I know. I do live here. I was in Chicago. I was in Atlanta. And now I'm back in beautiful Norfolk, Virginia. And Dean is here. It's a good day. It's a red letter day.
we have no Matt, though, as evident. By
well,
Dean
it's a
being
red
here.
letter day for him, too. He's in Disney.
It is.
He's having a better day. I mean, we're having a great day, but he's having like a super fantastic day.
Well, we'll see if he comes back. That last week might have been his last episode.
Yeah, right?
He might have applied to jobs in Disney, and
I know.
he might not be coming back.
He's threatening to leave us.
So
Do not let him leave us. Post your 4-star or 5-star or many stars as you'll give us review on our Facebook page and let Matt know that he is loved and we need him to stay.
Yes?
Yes.
He is.
Are you really going to deprive the man of Disney World, though?
Okay, I would let him go if every day was going to be like flirting with princesses and eating creme brulee, but that is not. just
I mean, I'd be okay with it. You know what he needs to do is just get a charger for his phone.
Yes, we were supposed to Skype with him tonight, but he spent all day Facebook living
Food around Epcot.
Food at Epcot, so we don't actually get that luxury today, but that's okay. He's having wonderful memories and having a lot of fun and relieving some stress and hopefully going home with Cinderella or, I don't know, Ariel. Does he like redheads? I don't know.
I don't know.
So he's having the time of his life.
He likes women with daddy issues. So which princesses have daddy? Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Ariel.
Yeah,
so yeah,
there's
Ariel
a lot
might
of
be a good one.
God, there's a lot of daddy issues in Disney.
Yeah. So, oh. Do
well,
we have Speak of the Devil? Is this going to work? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
There's no way I'm going to be able to hear you guys.
Okay.
Speaker's on. Turn the speaker on. Speaker on.
The speaker is on. Can you hear us?
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Huh?
Can you hear us?
Kind of.
Okay.
A lot of stuff going on.
What are you doing?
Nope, can't hear anything.
Okay. Well, this is not going
Dumbest idea.
All right.
Guys, where am I at?
Disney?
Nope, it's Epcot. The most upfront should have told you.
Probably. So I'm guessing you're just doing an audio call. Do you not have...
Oh, screw that. We're going to put me up here.
Yeah, that's
We got
what
40%.
that's what I've been waiting for. So I could transfer you over here. Do you have power for video?
Sure. Sure, for 3 seconds. We're going to do this fast.
Okay.
I went to Food and Wine
That's
today,
what I've been
and
waiting
I ate
for.
myself around the country.
So I could transfer you over here. Oh, geez. I don't know. We got problems. There we go. So say that again. You got Food and Wine. What now?
I went to Food and Wine, and I ate myself around the world.
Nice. What was your favorite dish?
Favorite thing I had, they had a filet mignon in Canada and a cheddar cheese soup, and it was fantastic.
Yum.
Really good. Really good. The worst thing I had was there was a waffle with a berry compote. Not great.
Where was the waffle from?
Belgium.
Well,
It was a Belgian waffle.
Yeah. Berry compote, not the favorite. Well, how was the creme brulee?
The creme brulee was amazing.
Yeah.
How long did it last?
Fantastic. I was a big fan of the brulee. I'm a brulee kind of guy anyway. So the brulee was amazing.
So Matt, let me ask you a question. In your experience, which of the Disney princesses have daddy issues?
I'm gonna say Jasmine.
That was the first one we said too.
Yeah, it's definitely Jasmine. I was trying to get with Jasmine today, and it didn't happen.
What pickup line did you use?
Hey, that Aladdin's a real street rat, am I right? Why don't you come home with me?
Not your best material,
I'll let
but
you rub my lamp.
There it is.
That didn't work.
Yeah,
Weird.
I'm
Did not work.
Weird.
It honestly hasn't worked on any woman, much less Princess.
Yeah.
Well, you gave it a shot. Who else are you going to hit on next?
Next, I think Magic Kingdom is on Friday. It's going to be 2 days. Tomorrow, I'm at Horror Nights.
There you go.
At Universal, so I'm going to get lots of footage and put together a nice video for us to have next week on the show.
Okay.
Next
week's Halloween. Yeah.
We're taking Halloween off. 2 weeks from now, I'll be back in country with a video of all of my journeys, but especially Horror Night. Horror.
There you go. Those speech classes are working well for you.
I'm trying. Yeah. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane.
There you go. We'll take it.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm good. So how's the show going? I guess I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, we just started, so there's that.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'll be back in 2 weeks when the show returns. Refreshed. It's a fantastic. If you can get down to Epcot for Food and Wine, which is every September and October, do it because it was just a great time eating food all around the world.
Awesome.
These little tapas, little plates, and it was fantastic. It was a good time. And obviously, I think Horror Nights is going to be a blast tomorrow. You guys will see when I come back with lots of video. So
awesome. That's what I like to hear. Hey, Matt, what's the step count up to?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I need to look, but it's a lot.
Okay,
I walked the entire World Showcase today.
Hey,
check. You don't know how big that is. It's a nice little trek. And yesterday was Animal Kingdom. Walked a lot. I'm feeling good and strong. I really haven't eaten that poorly.
Yeah, you're in Disney World. You're allowed to eat a little poorly.
I can eat a little poorly.
You burned it off.
I did have a Dole Whip also earlier.
Awesome.
But I'm definitely burning it off.
Well,
good.
I particularly miss you. I have not seen you in quite some time.
It's true.
Except for I came home after driving back from Atlanta, and the show had just ended, and I was like really cranky. So,
well, and to be fair, that wasn't a great show. I apologize for last week's show. Me and Keith were drunk, but it made for interesting if you were watching. If you listen to the podcast, though, I apologize. Keith apologized. We're sorry.
Well, it's
lesson learned.
It's all up here, all uphill from here.
All uphill. That's right. Unless I move to Orlando or I don't come back.
How many job applications have you put in?
I have put in a couple.
All right, Matt. Well, check that step count. Let us know in the video comments.
I will.
And
I'm gonna do a little write up. I think I'm gonna do a little write up tomorrow morning. About Disney so far for the Pop Show page.
Okay.
So
I got a little time.
Vanessa says
we'll talk about steps.
Vanessa says the parade is amazing, and Alexa says she wishes she was there.
It's awesome.
I know. We wish we were there too.
Right now.
Good. Well, we're happy. You're happy.
Happiness. I miss you guys. I can't wait to connect back in a week or so. And let's hang out. Let's do some pops and kick some more butt.
Yeah, there's some rumor of a popped game night next month, possibly.
Ooh, if we can all get our crazy schedules together.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll do some little live video of us playing board games and not losing our minds with each other.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, why not? All right, dude. Have fun at Disney. We will see you in a little bit. In a few days, whatever.
I'll probably pop up on in about an hour and make some comments.
Please do.
Nice.
Charge that phone up.
Absolutely. See you guys soon.
All right, later, man.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit jealous.
He's
hey, why did that
happy.
just pop back up?
He is so happy.
It's weird hearing him this happy.
I know. Who is that guy? He's not even a little gruntled.
I mean, I'm sure he will be.
Well,
eventually,
of
once
course.
He gets
when he has to come back.
Yeah, well, he is having a blast. And, I haven't been to Disney in a couple years. I last went with my friend Alexis, who was watching, and our friend Amy, and we went down to do the Princess Half Marathon because I apparently can't take a vacation without running at least 13 miles.
Well, that's just what you do.
I can't even plan a wedding without running 13 miles. So we went down there for the Princess Half and had so much fun. You'd think that it would lose some of the magic, but no, it is fudging magical at all times.
I haven't been in 17 plus years.
It is. Well, now that Matt's there, it makes me want to do it. Like, it makes me want to go down to Disney.
Understandable.
Well, if the next time that I go, it'll be the first time that we take my daughter,
your
Ella.
little girl.
So,
it'll be extra
it'll
magical.
be extra special at that point.
It's so much fun. I mean, it's fun being being an adult there. It's fun but like seeing a kid all lit up, like that's even cooler.
As long as I can get my Sarah back on the teacup ride.
Wait, did she reject the teacups?
She was not prepared for the intensity in which I spun that teacup the last time we were down there. I got her so dizzy, she could not stand up to get out of the cup.
Oh.
I mean, it's funny. I mean,
it was hilarious.
Well,
it works for you. She might not be too happy with you.
She actually was. She was not.
Well, okay, lesson learned. So, okay, now we know.
Lesson learned. Do it again.
Well, that's just not going to help you.
I'm getting Ella to help me. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Ella will have a kick with it.
Yeah.
So, when was the last time you went, Dean?
I'd say it was at least over 5 years ago.
Okay.
It's like maybe 6 or 7.
So you
it was definitely before Ella was born.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was 2012, 2013 that I was down there.
Okay.
I can't remember. I don't know. My medal's hanging on the wall. I could go look, but
yeah, that's effort.
Yeah, it was all the way over there. So what else happened in pop culture this week, you guys? What have we been up to?
I'm rewatching season 1 of Stranger Things.
Are you?
I'm waiting for Stranger Things season 2.
Yeah. I have caught. I try not to read reviews before I see it, because I was so like mad about Iron Fist. I am like, I don't know. I will read reviews. I read your review of Blade Runner, which is on popshow.com. I read Henry's reviews. I write my own, and I read some from like friends and people who I know aren't awful people, because I know them in person.
I'm touched.
You asked me, that is not you are not an awful person. But I tend to stay away from reviews because they just make me sad. And if I wind up liking the movie or the movie or show or whatever, it makes me feel like a crazy person because like Iron Fist is my example. It just cascades all this awfulness. But so, I've seen a few early reviews of Stranger Things, just the headlines though. And I am reserving my level of whelm until I watch it, because Stranger Things is a very interesting show for me, because I tend not to watch things that have jump takes or make me scared. But I really like Stranger Things. Not the least of the reason is because I used to work in that building. So
really? I never heard that.
No, I know. I told Keith every time that building showed up that I used to work there. So anyway, Keith is rewatching Stranger Things. How was your week in pop culture, Dean?
Oh, not bad. I've been on Netflix quite a bit. Watched Voltron season 4.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
That was not as good as season 3. And
Fair point.
Voltron it's been a hit or miss show for me.
Okay.
Mostly I find it annoying that every major plot development they end the season with, they walk back like in the first episode of the next season.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can't say anything more without spoiling it for people who haven't watched it yet. So
right.
I'll just leave it at that. But that's been my take on it every time. So the actual development they had at the end of this season, I'm waiting for them to walk it back at the first episode.
Well, yeah, I mean, given how the character involved in that main one, I can see that. So
other than that, it's been a kind of a Halloween month for me.
Nice.
Go figure. So I watched Cult of Chucky on Netflix, which was not good. I was bored to tears with that one. And I watched The Babysitter, which is the original Netflix original, and that movie was hysterical.
I hear good things about that.
I love my first reaction after I watched it is like, I need to watch that again. Okay. It's not going to be for everyone. It is a horror film. It's got some gore in it, but it's pretty. It's also got a lot of humor in it. So I enjoyed myself quite thoroughly.
All right.
What about you? What'd you do in pop culture this week? Miss Hill.
I watched Evil Dead. Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So the damn book, it's in the stupid book. This book is the bane of my existence. It was a gift for Keith. I feel like I complain about it every week.
Mistake.
The 1001 movies you have to see before you die. I think it goes up to 2014.
Yeah.
And whenever some movie comes up that he wants to watch that I don't really care to watch, and this has happened to me several times, if it's in the book, I have to watch it. And so far, I've only won like Goodfellas and Gone with the Wind, and he's won Cabin in the Woods, Aliens, which we have yet to watch, Evil Dead, what else? Oh, Indiana Jones was in the book. I didn't really care about watching that, and which we will get into later. So Evil Dead was in the book, so we watched, and then Evil Dead 2 is playing at the Narrow. We love the Narrow. It's our local independent theater here in Norfolk, Virginia. They have a great video, attached video store that we have control of a shelf of in April. Yeah. So buckle up, get those video recommendations ready because
maybe we'll talk about that next month.
Yeah,
at some point.
We need to start cultivating that list. Anyway, we went to go see Evil Dead 2 in the theater. Made a new friend, Travis, who I believe is listening. Hello.
Hey, Travis.
And it was weird. I have no explanation. It was like we all kind of agree that like it's like terrible, right?
No,
it's
terribly awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Like Showgirls levels of all.
No. You shut your mouth.
But it didn't even make sense.
The Showgirls was unintentionally hysterical. It was they tried to make a serious film. Obviously, not so much with the Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, okay, obviously, but like. Okay, well, I'll just take it for what it is because I feel like that's how you have to.
Yeah.
But, I saw it. I don't know. It was the first one was silly, but I did have moments where I like didn't know what was coming, so I didn't want to look, and everything scares me. The second one was like, what is like I thought I was like dreaming it. Like I was like, did someone really put this on film? Like it was.
Well, you know what you're gonna have to do next, right?
No, I'm not watching Army of Darkness.
Oh, come on. You might as well.
2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, you might as well.
Oh, my God.
We're not going to make you watch the Evil Dead remake.
It's true. The Evil Dead remake's just all blood.
It's not bad. It's just not great. It doesn't need
It's a movie.
It's
a movie.
Oh, Travis, okay. I regret all the nice things I said about you.
Uh-oh.
He said, I'm listening and shaking my head. Not seeing Temple of Doom is one thing, but not seeing Aliens, come on. Evil Dead 2 is a treasure.
Okay, to be fair, Sarah is our resident noob.
I am the noob.
So,
I am the token noob on this show.
And you know what? I'm actually glad computer problems. And I'm glad you haven't seen them because sometimes we are blinded by nostalgia.
That's true.
Dean and I saw this stuff when we were teenagers or when we were kids, and so they've just been ingrained in who we are and what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. And you're now seeing it as an adult, and you're like, why?
And I will say, more than one person has told me when I was watching Firefly and then I saw Serenity, more than one person said that they were jealous of me because they wish they were watching it for the first time again.
Yeah.
And Matt was one of the people who said that.
Yeah.
And when we went to see Serenity in the theater, it wound up being this really cool thing. And Dean, you were with us.
I was. I had to. Keith and I, we were in communication before you guys got to the theater because the opening act has this song about how his girlfriend didn't like Firefly.
Right.
So he dumped her like a good man should.
Yeah. There's a line in it that gives away a major like oh my god moment from the movie. And Keith, I had to tell Keith, it's like, okay, wait, no, he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't played the song. Okay, you can bring her in now.
I mean, it was
one of the best stories.
And there was great lengths that you guys went to keep me going into that movie spoiler free. And I believe I was probably the only one in the theater who had never that was such a big the things that happened in that movie were such a big reveal.
I'm trying to remember. Did people quote Firefly? Were they quoting Serenity when we went in there for it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Like, it didn't stick out in my mind. Like, they do it with Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog because, like Matt has said before, it's in the title, so it makes sense. Yeah. But that was the problem with Evil Dead 2 is, like, there was this one guy, and eventually someone yelled at him, and he finally shut up, which was the best thing ever. But he kept making jokes. Like, every time something would happen, he'd make, like, these... And they weren't even funny jokes.
Uh-huh. I didn't mind him so much. Like, the little quips... I don't mind if it's a movie that's not, that's supposed to be like that, because it makes me think of Mystery Science Theater, which I don't mind. I don't mind the quips.
Which the Narrow's doing a riff track kind of stuff eventually. Too, so keep an eye out for it.
And I really that's where I thought they were going with it. And honestly, it didn't take away from the experience for me for this particular movie.
Yeah.
But when we saw The Princess Bride in the theater, and all the people did was quote every single line, I was losing my daggone mind. Yeah. Princess Bride is my favorite movie, and it's a great movie. Right. It is an unquestionably great movie. And even its critics admit that it's a really, really great, beautiful story. Mm-hmm. So to quote every line was just distracting. I think the quips were something separate. They didn't really bother me. I mean, I was whatever.
See, when I go to those fan events, all the quotable lines come up, I'll say them, but I'll say them quietly, under my breath, so I can speak. I can say the quote along with the movie and have a good time doing that. But at the same time, I'm not inconveniencing anyone else who just wants to watch the film.
Well, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, we get it. You know the lines. Congratulations. Shut up forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so annoyed watching The Princess Bride and all those people.
What, you mean you didn't like it when everyone joined in and said
inconceivable
all the time, every time?
No, it wasn't
inconceivable.
So my friend Heidi, who is a friend of the show, I don't think she's watching, but
why not?
I don't know. I'll have to talk.
I'll
discuss it with her tomorrow. She's a big Princess Bride fan too. It's our shared favorite movie, and we did a whole big group Halloween costume last year on our floor where we all dressed as characters. I was Vizzini. I don't know how I got the literal short straw on that one.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, exactly. But she was the impressive clergyman, and the line that was by far the loudest in the theater was marriage, and I lost it. I was so annoyed, because it's a perfectly delivered line, and all these boneheads were like, I don't know. I guess I should be a little less curmudgeon-y about sharing in this experience, but get off my favorite movie. I know.
That's
all right. Rant done.
Several years ago, Sarah and I and Keith and a couple of his friends went to see when they had Back to the Future. Playing at the Narrow. And I remember my epiphany moment was I'm sitting here, the movie's going, and I'm looking to the left, I'm looking to the right, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm the only person who was alive to see this when it actually came out in the movie theater.
Oh, yeah, you're old.
I am old.
So besides that, besides having seen Evil Dead, I have been listening. Oh, I started Mindhunter.
Thoughts?
It was kind of slow, but I'm going to power through it because I hear that it ends really strong and ends kind of like thriller-y. Mm-hmm. And I have been
Michael Jackson music video thriller-y or just like
scary.
Okay.
And
just checking.
Oh, Alexis makes a good point that she also quoted lines constantly when we lived together. I don't know. Maybe she used up all of my tolerance.
That's when you're hanging out with friends. I mean, that's
true. Alexis, you will never reach the levels of annoying that these people
if I went a day without quoting a line from a movie, I mean that's
true.
Apparently, I didn't wake up that day.
But we but we I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about true crime and serial killers, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been in the car a lot. I've been in cars and airports and driving, so I feel like I've had a lot of time away from screens. And we have been enjoying the crap out of The Good Place.
Dean, are you watching that show yet?
No, I haven't watched
it. You need to watch it.
Funny. It is so well done.
The first season's on Netflix. I'm not even going to say it. Just watch the entire first season. I'm not going to say if there's anything in particular that you should watch out for. Just watch it, enjoy it. And the second season, I figured, okay, after the first season, how can they really, keep this I feel like we've had this discussion many times. But how can they keep this idea fresh? And you know what? They do it, and they do it fantastically.
Yeah, they really do. It's kind of amazing how well they and they have such strong, good writing. It's the same guy, who is it, Michael Schur, who did Parks and Rec and The Office, and he's just a really good showrunner. It was so funny. I was telling Keith there's a quote where he said the best line in Parks and Rec was an ad lib from Chris Pratt, where he was Googling symptoms because somebody was sick, and he was Googling symptoms, and he goes, It says you have network connectivity problems. And Michael Schur said, I hate him. I hate him so much for that. Because, he was like, that was the best line in the whole series. And it was an ad lib, and I hate him. But, like, he puts so much care into those shows. And The Good Place is hysterical. It fills this, like, need that I had for a sitcom that I can, like, really love. I didn't realize that was missing from my life, but it was.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's really great.
I have a sidebar question, just technical issue. I am having problems bringing up Facebook comments. Are you able to do it?
I can see them.
Okay.
Alexis says...
It's showing that people are commenting, like Alexis and Kevin. And
no, I can see them.
People. Okay.
Alexis says that it is amazing. Wonky. So good. Marina suggests I listen to my favorite murder podcast, which I will. Thanks for the Wreck Girlfriend. Travis suggested that we use a topic, what we want to see with fresh eyes, which would be
I did see that one.
That would be cool. I would like to experience like How I Met Your Mother with fresh eyes. That would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although it did drag a little bit in the middle. But I often wonder because Keith like sort of introduces me to a lot of pop culture, like I had never seen Alien, and I had never seen Indiana Jones. And I always wonder, I mean, some of it I really latch onto and I really love and adopt it, and some of it it doesn't live up to the hype. So I always wonder how he feels about that because like, I really didn't care about Indiana Jones. I really didn't.
That makes me sad.
I'm sorry. I know.
It's okay.
It just doesn't, I don't know. I part of the problem too, and I'm kind of glad Matt isn't here for this, is the Big Bang Theory. And the reason why that this is a problem is because there is an episode in The Big Bang Theory where one of the girls on the show had also never seen Indiana Jones. Mm-hmm. And this is before I saw it. And she comes out of the movie saying, well, the main character didn't need to be in that movie for all of it to happen. Mm-hmm. And in saying that, she unraveled the plot for all these guys. And I had that on my brain when I watched this movie.
See, for me, in some ways, that's what makes Indiana Jones such an interesting character. Is that he's not like the answer to all the problems in those films.
Yeah, well, that's true. That is a really good point. Vanessa says I'm breaking her heart. And Alexa says we should also watch The Good Doctor, which we've heard a lot about. The Good Doctor, it's that it's a new drama. But yeah.
But how you've been introducing Sarah to the movies that you grew up watching? I'm looking forward to doing the same thing with Ella. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm gonna see it with anything with fresh eyes at this point.
I'll literally just tell her, "Hey, I want to watch this movie. Let's watch it."
Well, I mean,
that's how I do it.
Even
there's nothing fancy about it.
In some ways, like when we watched it growing up, we didn't have like the internet, and the movies weren't ingrained in the culture the way they are now. So we did actually see it. So even people that are trying to watch it, quote unquote, with fresh eyes these days, some of the plot beats or some of the genre tropes are so ingrained into culture, you've picked up on it without even realizing that you've seen it before, too.
That's a good point. I'm trying to think of movies my dad introduced me to when I was a kid just because he loved them. He introduced me to that old school Disney live action stuff with Haley Mills.
Song of the South?
No, not Song of the... Why do you always have to mention song? No.
Absent-Minded Professor, Shaggy Dog.
Yeah.
I grew up watching those, too.
The Parent Trap, the original Parent Trap, and he just loved those old movies, and I loved him too. And he just, I think, was just like, hey, it's a rainy day. He introduced me to the original Anne of Green Gables, which totally shaped my life and made me like. I mean, that is a really big part of why I love literature so much.
See,
which I know your Sarah loves too.
I had never seen Anne of Green Gables, and I had not seen the Pride and Prejudice version with Colin Firth until I met Sarah, and so those are I enjoyed those quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So it works both ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Well, let me think. What have I introduced you? I made you watch Goodfellas. That's why we win.
But see, it's not like you had to fight me on it or anything. I mean, Evil Dead, the only reason I got you to see Evil Dead was because of the book.
I know.
And Evil Dead 2 going to the Narrow. So, that was really the only way I got to do it.
There's just some things that aren't for me. But I watch them, fun. And sometimes they are.
Yeah. Because you liked Cabin in the Woods.
I did like Cabin in the Woods. We had a whole Doctor Who themed proposal pivotal moment in our lives. So obviously I'm on board with that one.
It's true.
So-
At least up until season 8.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to ask.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, let's. You two are watching Doctor Who. Dean, how far are you?
Halfway through season 8.
Okay. Sarah, how far are
I
you?
have no idea, actually. Where are we? We're on Dr. Grumpy.
Yes, we are on season 8. What did we get to? Episode 2 or 3? Inside the Dalek, I think, was our last episode, wasn't it? Where they went inside the Dalek, or was the one after that?
Oh, no, that was good, though. I did enjoy that. Why did we
Yeah.
stop? Oh, I don't know, because I kept
I don't know. Why did we stop?
Because I left town like 4 times.
Because she's going to get a fight out of me to watch Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor.
So you're a couple episodes ahead of me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed with Capaldi just yet.
He really, it's in season 8, he's a little rough. But he's a bit of a jerk. In season 9, though, he goes full on like pun dad mode, essentially.
Oh boy.
So I don't know, when there's in the opening episode of season 9, it's a Dalek episode, and at one point he strolls in remember Davros from season 4?
Yeah.
For those of you only watching like the New Who, I mean he was in series 4 with David Tennant, and he had that chair he was in, which looked like the bottom half of a Dalek. He rolls in. 12th Doctor rolls in Davros' chair, and he's like, face it, this is your worst nightmare, isn't it? And it was great. And he also opens his first scene in season 9 is him playing electric guitar on a giant tank. I'm not gonna give the scene away. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how he makes his entrance in season 9.
Fellow Whovians on Facebook, please identify yourselves. I know you're out there. I know Marina's a big Doctor Who fan. She's joining us.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that my comments are.
Oh, that's all right. Facebook
Acting
does
up,
what Facebook
so-
wants. Alexis also reminded us of the Apple Dumpling Gang, which is I am also a big fan of the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Oh, see, Marina doesn't like Clara.
Oh, I don't mind Clara.
I like Clara.
She's okay.
You know which
She's
one
not-
I hate. Marina, how do you feel about stupid Martha? Stupid.
She got better after she was a companion. Or-
Yeah, like after she left and came back as like guest appearances, she was way better.
Rose is still my least favorite. I just could not stand Rose at all.
I don't mind Rose.
Amy is my least favorite of the female companions.
Martha is the worst.
Okay, Martha's the worst.
Martha
and then-
is the worst.
Okay,
Amy's not bad, and plus she's paired with Rory makes it all not that much better.
But see, that's the thing. I liked Rory way more than I liked.
Well, Rory
Amy.
was just awesome.
Yeah, you can't beat Rory.
No.
So,
Yeah, okay, Rory I like.
My biggest problem with Rose is that the show was trying to make her a bigger thing than they actually allowed her to develop.
Yeah.
They gave her no chance to develop as a character. It was just like, here she is. The Doctor likes her for some reason. Every man that comes on the show likes her for some reason. I don't know why. Everyone thinks she's important, but you haven't shown it to me. You just told me that constantly. So that's why I hated her so much.
I'd say Rose and Amy are on par for me. I mean, then obviously it's like Donna.
Oh,
top-
Donna's definitely number
best.
one.
Donna's the
best.
best. Yeah, I mean.
And then for me, I liked Clara. I like her. Depending on, sorry, I was checking some stuff. I like Clara. Rose and Amy are about the same par there, and then Martha. And the guys are gonna fill in the gaps because basically the female companions are the main ones. I'd say Rory's up there with Clara, probably a little bit better than Clara for me.
Yeah.
Wilf also up there with that Rory Clara level, so to speak. I'm trying to think of Nardole. No, you guys haven't gotten to Nardole yet. Never mind. See, I forget because I'm caught up.
Well, aren't you fancy?
I'll be
Damn.
caught up before the 13th.
I thought you were gonna say you're getting caught up before Sarah.
Oh, he will be caught up before Sarah.
It's
I
not a
just- I don't know.
competition.
There
It's
is.
a little
Oh
bit of
no,
a
everything
competition.
is a
It's
competition.
Yeah.
You're obviously not doing it right if it's not a competition. Therefore, I'm doing it better, and I'm winning at competing.
If you want to win at something, fair enough. Go for it.
No, Martha is my by far least favorite companion. Donna is my favorite. Martha, I don't.
Martha never really got
Oh.
a chance.
Martha came out of the gate with her whole like mooning over the doctor thing, and I hate the reason. And Rose got that, but I didn't mind it so much because she was having so much fun, like traveling through space and time, and freaking every stop, Martha was like, "Oh, why don't you let me yet?" And I'm like, "Shut up!"
Well, and see, that was the only thing is because if you took the Doctor out of the equation, Martha was actually better than Rose as far as overall character.
No,
She was smart. She was a doctor.
But they never showed that.
They
in the
never
show.
showed it,
exactly,
and
that was the problem.
They did her a
never evolved
disservice with that
She-
writing.
she had-
oh,
yeah.
Captain Jack.
That's what I was just going to say.
Captain
Captain
Jack.
Jack. But see,
Good
here's the thing.
call,
I've watched so
Ken.
much Torchwood. I sometimes forget he was even a companion.
Yeah,
See,
Captain
know?
Jack.
I had seen parts of Torchwood before I'd even seen Doctor Who, and Captain
Okay,
Jack
I
is
see.
just all around
Yeah.
awesome.
He really is.
So.
But I remember I was watching when I started Doctor Who. It was such a slog to get through those early episodes, and as soon as Captain Jack showed up, I was like, everything just like clicked. It's
that's
like
it.
holy! I was like, oh my god, this guy is phenomenal.
Yeah, Captain Jack is the best.
They actually released a new cast photo of the 13th Doctor and new companions or
yeah.
new cast. We
Yeah.
don't know the full scope of it
Marina
yet.
loves Amy, she said.
Yeah, I saw it. And Amy was good, and she had her moments, but
So I never really
Roy
had a
was
problem.
with-
I don't know. The
with-
writing with Amy, I didn't mind Amy, but the writing with her seasons kind of went off the rails.
and I think that had a factor into it as well, because I didn't like 11 for the longest time because of the writing in those seasons.
yeah, that was sort of painful.
It was
the
more-
the, the
more
last
fantasy-based.
the last half of the last season with Matt Smith was bad.
See, I'd say season 6 was worse than first half of season 7.
I liked season 6 a lot. Season 7, after like the first couple episodes, I couldn't tell you what happened in it. I was so bored.
See, season 7 was when I finally realized, it's like, oh, I don't hate Matt Smith. I hate the writing that he was given, because I thought the writing was a little bit better in season 7. I mean, yeah, the adventures were a little less memorable, I think, primarily because there wasn't much river, and 11 was so river heavy in those first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like his identity he was kind of stuck with that river, tie-in, and then when he finally didn't have river, he seemed kind of different. And I think that's kind of when I finally realized, I was like,
yeah, with
all
Matt
right, he's
Smith,
good.
I was most invested in him as the Doctor when it was attached to River.
Yeah.
That's where his series clicked the best for me.
Okay.
Marina said that Moffat went downhill. And
Oh
he
yeah,
should have
Moffat.
stopped, yeah.
But I mean, as performers, I haven't really had much of a problem with any of the Doctors. It's mostly been the stories for me.
Yeah.
That's what's been the biggest factor.
And I think that's the only reason people still tune in.
I haven't really had much of a problem with any of the
Sorry,
Doctors.
technical issues.
Oh my God, is that how I sound?
Yeah,
that's
I
exactly
know,
how you
I-
sound. It's weird,
that was
right?
it, yeah.
Yeah, it's always weird hearing your voice played back to you in these in this stuff when I go back through and edit podcast. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is like the stories are kind of meh. Even with Capaldi, I'll admit some of the stories aren't all that great, but he's just so good as the. You feel free to throw him off.
You know I'm allergic, right?
Push him away. There we go. There you go.
He just sees you as a lot.
But Capaldi's such, a fun guy that he, it makes it a lot of fun to watch him. But speaking of fun guys who are a lot of fun to be around, it's Greg from Local Heroes.
Greg!
Oh, geez. Are we having Greg? Oh, you got to be kidding me. This was what Matt called on this earlier. How are we not here yet? Hang on. Greg, are you there? Nope. Oh, no, that's...
Oh.
Well,
Oh, no.
Greg, I'm going to
I
hang
was
up
so
on you, and you're going to have to call us
excited.
back. And hopefully that'll, let's see here. Let's try this again. Hello? No. Hello? Greg. Oh, jeez. Got to be kidding me. Oh.
Greg?
Hey, guys.
Oh, there we are.
we got
Look
you.
at that. I don't know what happened there, but welcome, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Have you guys had a good show?
Yes, we have, and it's even better now that you're here.
I missed you.
Said no one ever.
I haven't
said
ta-
me.
no,
said
I
this
do.
guy right here.
I have missed you. It has been 2 weeks since I have been on my own show, and I wasn't missing these guys. I was missing you, Greg.
Yeah, that's a valid statement.
You've
because
been
Appreciate that,
passively
Sarah.
talking to us on Slack too, so
That's true. I have been talking to them constantly on Slack.
You're the linchpin of this program, honestly. When you're not there, it's garbage.
I mean, I
it
think
really is. No, that's a fact.
I think I bring the softer side. I also kind of keep them on task.
It's also
Which
valid.
is
Because you didn't call in last week, Greg, because you had a concert, but Matt and I ended up drinking before the show, and it was just all downhill from there.
it doesn't
so,
even sound like a good
Nice.
idea.
yes, it was just it was an S show, that's for sure. So
You deserve some downtime.
we do. We deserve to. We gave it a shot. We tried the show with some drinks, and it did not work. So, you know, we gave it a shot.
Now you know for next time.
Yeah, pun intended. So, you know what? Let's play a little of a little Greg intro here so we can get into some comics.
Oh, that's right. We have intros. We're fancy. Yeah. There we go. Look at all those comic books.
Greg's got a beautiful shop.
Comics with Greg.
That video is actually Local Heroes live video taken from the best the best comic shop in Norfolk, Virginia.
Thank you, sir. Second best.
No,
but I'll take it.
The best. Oh, I'm just now seeing your message, by the way. Apparently there was a busy signal. Sorry about that. I have no idea why we had a busy signal. But you're here now, and that's what matters. And you're gonna get to tell us you're gonna get to tell us what's coming out in comics this week.
It's a good week. There's some really cool books and some really cool comics. I had a chance before I left to check some stuff in, and Overwatch fans should be stoked because there's 2 books tomorrow. The Art of Overwatch, there's both a regular and a really nice limited edition. We have both of those. And then there's also an anthology, which is stories set in the Overwatch universe, which was also looked really cool. I know people love that game. Juan is an Overwatch fanboy, so
is Matt.
They should definitely enjoy that. Yeah, it's a thing apparently. Who knew?
Yeah, people spend those times on those little playbox things.
It's crazy, right?
You can see how much Sarah plays video games, folks.
Legacy tomorrow from Marvel. It's the 4th week. So month 1 will be done. Month 2 obviously starts next Wednesday with another round of revamped kind of back to basics comics that's been well received so far. So Marvel Legacy, if you've been on the fence, it's time to get on board. And that's, again, tomorrow. Speaking of Marvel, have you guys talked about the Punisher trailer already tonight?
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
We were supposed to.
Have you seen the Punisher trailer?
Yes.
For the Netflix?
Yes, it looks really good.
I hate everything, and you know what?
It's true.
This I didn't hate. So.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, so you didn't hate it, but are you actually going to watch it?
I am going to watch it.
Good.
I really didn't care for the Punisher and the Daredevil, when he did his Daredevil thing, but. This looks really good. I don't know. Maybe it's just a great trailer. Hopefully not. But one of the best Marvel comics that out right now is from Garth Ennis and Warren Parlov, who did the amazing Punisher Max story, and it's Punisher Platoon. That second issue comes out tomorrow. If you missed the first one, get it and grab the second one because it's tremendous.
Okay, yeah,
it ties it into the Punisher show.
Before.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think you rated about that one before. So
which Greg does not hate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
When Greg gives a recommendation,
really
you know it's going to be great.
That's
No, you're good. I was just saying, when you give a recommendation, you know it's going to be good because, like you said earlier, you hate everything. So
I do, I'm a terrible liar. So it's tough.
It's about as close as to an endorsement as we can get.
A book I actually enjoyed from Image called Redneck. It's been really good, and the first collection is out tomorrow. It's $10. It's kind of a Southern noir vampire story. It's bloody and violent. If you're a True Blood fan or like a Southern Bastards fan, the comic book, that's a really good comic. And lastly, our friend Jim Rugg, who does the wonderful Street Angel books, has his 3rd book out tomorrow from Image, Street Angel Superhero for a Day. He was nice enough to come to the store and sign books. So we're stoked to see his 3rd book out tomorrow.
That was a good little shindig you had when you brought him into town.
Yeah, it was fun. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, awesome. Greg, is there anything else for us?
I would like to say that if you're in Norfolk and you enjoy Halloween and you enjoy parties, that Local Heroes is having its 9th annual Halloween party this Saturday. And if you're listening to this program and you want to come, you're invited. Just say you heard it on Popped, and we'll let you in the door.
Look at that.
And it's a good time. I know Keith has come in the past.
Yes, I have, and I'm bringing Sarah this time.
So Keith and Sarah will be there this year.
You can vouch.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. I think I've made an appearance for the past at least 5-6 years. I think I've been.
We love to see you, and we love to drink and have a good time. There will have some booze, and the costumes are always really great. It's this Saturday at 9:00 and we'd love to see you out.
Yeah, at Local Heroes, where is Local Heroes located?
It's in Norfolk, Virginia, 1905 Colonial Avenue in Ghent. So you can't miss it. And we're easy to find. We're on the internet even.
Oh, what's the website?
LocalHeroesComics.com.
Boom, just like that. And you're at and
check us out.
For the people that are watching us on Facebook right now, we have their little Twitter handle at Local Heroes NVA.
That's it. Because for some reason Twitter won't let you have Local Heroes Comics. It's too long apparently.
Oh, that stinks.
Well, Twitter's not known for being logical.
That's also very valid. Social media in general isn't known for being
come
logical.
out.
Awesome, Greg. Well, thanks for calling in, and I will see you tomorrow. And Sarah and then I will see you again Saturday with Sarah.
Sounds great. Look forward to seeing you both.
Awesome.
Thanks, Greg.
Later, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys. You too. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Do we want to do a little news?
Just in terms of the when they had the event for like the 30th anniversary for whatever it is for Harley Quinn a couple weeks.
Batman Day. Didn't you go to Batman Day?
I did. I ended up taking Ella to Local Heroes. That was the first time I'd been.
Your daughter.
Yep.
For those
new
to the show.
First time I'd been to this shop, and it was a good experience. I mean, I liked the layout. I appreciated the fact they had like a recommended for kids section in the store, and Ella had a great time.
Good.
And, ended up getting her first comic book there. It was the one where the DC heroines all go to the high school together. It was one of those. And took me an hour to read the entire thing to her when we got home that afternoon.
I'm sure it was real devastating to spend that much time with your daughter reading comics.
The only weird thing is obviously the characters all talk in like modern slang. So when I had to say that dialogue, I wasn't certain if I was saying it right, but I gave it a shot. So.
Aww.
Oh, look at Dean modernizing with the kids.
My kid, anyway.
Yes. So. Well, before we get into news, I just wanted to drop out that, for those watching on Facebook, we are now a podcast. And for those that are listening to us in podcast form, we also have a Facebook and a website. So, real quick, we'll just run down everything just to kind of take a quick interjection before we jump into news. Our Facebook page, if you guys are watching it live on Facebook, you already know it, but it's facebook.com/popshow. Twitter, we are at popshow. Our podcast is on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and I submitted to Stitcher. But as of this moment, I do not believe we've been approved yet. They've got their processes they've got to go through. I have not been able to get us on Spotify or some other ones, but those are the ones we've got. iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, possibly Stitcher at this point. We're available in all sorts of forms. So if you miss an episode live and you can't engage with us, you can download us and listen to us later.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, but this is not our final form. Come on, it's no. Oh, come on. Come on.
What is our final form?
This isn't even my final form.
But what is our final form?
I don't know. Wherever you find us.
Okay, there you go. I can go with that. So our but we can find us however you need to. We've also got a YouTube page, which is too long to give you because they've still given us like the random characters. So whatever your mode of social media or listening to things are, subscribe to us. We're putting episodes out. We're putting videos out. Rate us, like us, share us with your friends. And yeah, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
All right, let's get into some fancy news. Push a button.
Ooh, Publimeter. Yeah.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
All right, we've got news. Are you ready for some news?
I am ready for some news.
I know, you guys have been missing news in your life. Okay, Dean, you are going first.
Oh, joy.
Yay. The Justice League movie is reported to be the shortest movie in the DC Cinematic Universe, coming in at only 121 minutes. Man of Steel was 143 minutes, and that's what sort of kicked this whole thing off. And BVS was 150-something. So... less is more?
A story only needs to be as long as it needs to be to tell the whole story. The other movies in the DC universe, barring Wonder Woman, have been a little bit too long for the content that they provided. So I'm happy to see. I mean, in and of itself, the length doesn't tell us how good the movie is going to be.
Yep, this
but
is true.
if they cut out the filler and keep the story tight, I'm all for that.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was about the same length as Man of Steel, and Man of Steel just dragged, and Wonder Woman kept moving. I know that it's not, there are certainly good and bad about every movie, but Man of Steel felt too long. BVS felt too long.
BVS
Justice
is the worst
League.
offender.
I don't even know what was really happening for most of Justice League, but
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. But that one was too long too, or maybe it wasn't long enough. I don't really know what was going on with Suicide Squad.
They didn't either. That was the problem.
It depends on what part of Suicide Squad you were looking at. It was a lot of really good stories chopped really too short and put together.
Yeah, it was like Suicide Squad was like someone tried to make a quilt, but instead of making it square, they did all the patchwork like really, really long and skinny, and it sort of didn't make
kind
any
of jagged.
Yeah, and then what do I do with this? It's kind of pretty, but this isn't
loose stitches.
Yeah, this has no purpose in my life.
Put together with duct tape.
Right.
No batting in it.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Keith, what do you think?
I kind of agree with Dean on this one, but again, it's going to depend on the story. I want to know how many post-credit scenes we're going to have. I'm more curious about all the, not necessarily. I mean, we heard about the Jimmy Olsen from the original Superman movie.
Oh yeah, that did come out today.
He's going to cameo in this movie. I am more curious. I mean, we kind of know the story at this point. There's some other boxes. There's some the Dark Side.
Steppenwolf.
Yeah, Steppenwolf. They're the basically the Chitauri versions for DC.
Other boxes are
Parademons.
the Infinity Gems in DC, right? I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
It's more like it's a Deus
Technological.
Machina. Let's get people from here to there sort of technology.
What he said.
They're TARDISes?
Sure.
They're weird technological boxes that can serve whatever purpose they need to for the story.
Is there a finite number?
In the movie, I believe there are.
Are they infinite probability drives?
Probably not.
No.
Okay, well, when you figure out the parallel, you just let me know so I can understand this. Just do some thinking.
It's a wisdom cube.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but wisdom cubes are what I call the thing.
It's like the Tesseract or the Cosmic Cube. But there's
the blue box from Avengers that just kind of shoots energy out and opens portals.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we collecting them?
The bad guys are.
You can.
Is there something that happens when you get all of them?
No.
They don't combine.
Do they fight each other?
They don't,
are they like
they don't
Pokemon?
combine to form Voltron or anything like that. Sorry.
I'd watch that movie.
I probably would too.
Do they all go on a fist that is for some reason called a gauntlet?
No.
All right, well, think about that metaphor. And when you find out what a mother box actually could be compared to so that I will understand it.
Yeah, but basically, we know what the story is. I want to know all the little other stuff. I want to know what shocking things they're going to give us at this point. So, I mean, I'll go see it.
Superman comes back.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, that one.
Quick side note.
Yeah.
Because we forgot to mention it. You know what else we did this week?
What?
We got movie passes.
We did get movie passes.
You can see a movie a day for $10 a month thing, which I don't know how this. I mean, this sounds like a Netflix business model, but
it does.
Which
it's a race to see who goes out of business first.
Basically, at this rate, who can rack up the most debt in the shortest amount of time?
But still put out really good stuff that I would be really sad without. And the amount of debt that Netflix is in literally gives me heart palpitations. Like, it makes me so anxious.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're just going to fold and then I'm not going to have my Netflix shows and it would be a major problem.
So, yeah, but Matt raves about Movie Pass. So, we'll be able to go see Justice League once a day if we want to, if we really like it.
I still need to sit down and run a list of how many movies I go to see a year and compare it to the $10 a month model and see if I actually would come out ahead.
Do you pay for Sarah to go to the movies with you?
No.
Okay, then you're fine.
I'm going to. She doesn't go see movies. The only reason I go see movies is at night.
As long as you go see one movie a month, you've paid back. You've earned your money back.
I don't know if I actually had to see if I see a movie.
I feel like on average you probably would.
I'd like to say yes,
but you like to do the midnight releases. Yeah. You might not be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's fair though, because honestly, if we had Movie Pass, there would be a lot more that I would see. But there's some stuff that I'm kind of on the fence about. and I don't want to pay. Well, I don't want
No
Keith to pay $30 for us to go see, at least for us to go see the movie. It's just not I'm interested, but I'm not $30 interested.
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm not $30 of his money interested. So and I only want to go see movies that we both want to see, or we both have some like heightened interest in.
Right. Because you'll go see movies without me, and vice versa.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have friends.
Yeah.
Like we go see things that we're not interested in. But if there was, but with MoviePass, I have a feeling that I will go see more movies that I thought, meh.
Right.
Like the first Tom Cruise movie that I have been remotely interested in that I can remember is American Made. But I did not $30. I was not $30 interested in it. I was like, meh, okay, maybe I'll watch it.
We get to it
when it comes out. But then the problem is that by the time it's released on digital or Blu-ray or however we wind up getting it, I don't really care anymore.
Right.
Because I moved on to whatever the cool new thing is.
Took us how long to watch The Nice Guys?
I know, and I really enjoyed that
You
movie.
really did.
But I when it came out, when I saw the trailer for it, I thought, oh, this would be good, but I wasn't $30 interested in it. But that was one of the ones I would have taken a gamble on if I had MoviePass, and I think that I'm going to be able to see a lot more. Well, I will. I think we will see a lot more movies.
And I mean, if I had it, I would be tempted to use it more. For me, it's not that I wouldn't want to use it. It'd be a question of time.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that
And,
makes sense.
we all have different, if our job schedules were different, or, I'm sure having kids changes a lot too.
Travis chimed in on the mother boxes for you. Mother boxes act as portal generators for Darkseid's henchmen to get from Apocalypse or wherever. Apocalypse is where they're from. That's an actual location in the DC universe. And the equivalent to the Infinity Stones is the anti-life equation, which Darkseid would use to conquer everything / annihilate all life in the universe.
I'm going to have to reread that later. But thanks, Travis. So
I'm trying to think of an equivalent that you would have.
Okay, we'll have to tackle that one later. Next news item.
Okay.
Beep, 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 beep. Okay, speaking of explosions and destruction, like in Man of Steel, where the whole Metropolis was basically
Dean,
leveled.
did you see this yet? Have you seen this
I'm
nosebud?
waiting to see where she goes.
All right.
Oh, this is great.
Speaking of explosions and destructions, Michael Bay is
Dean's face
is directing a live-action Dora the Explorer movie. And I can't believe I just said those words out loud.
No one can.
But when Keith, we were watching, what were we watching? Bob's Burgers. He pauses it and looks at me and says, I have to tell you something. And I said, what? And he tells me this news that he just read. And I was like, no way. I don't believe it. That's ridiculous. It's for being punked.
I literally checked the calendar.
Is he directing or producing?
Producing.
Okay.
He's producing.
Oh, he's producing? I thought he was directing.
No, his company's producing it. And Nick Stoller, who did the Muppets, and I can't think of. He's done other stuff that I'm sure I would recognize if I came up. But the first thing for Nick Stoller for me is the Muppets. Is directing it and I believe writing it. Because
if Michael Bay was directing it, it would all take place in an eternal sunset with no sense of chronology, and it would, if it wasn't an explosion, it'd be focused on the midriff of a scantily clad woman, with that apparently for some reason is sweaty. That's all Michael Bay's films are.
My buddy Tom chimed in and said Dora is hot. So what you're looking at? What you're looking at right there, I'm sure he's referring to Ariel Winter and not the small 3-year-old character.
But even then, Ariel Winter in that trailer was like 15 or 16.
I don't know. I don't think she was that young.
Yeah, because that trailer was done, 5 years ago?
Oh,
yeah, it was done 5 years ago, and
she's
she's like 19, 20 now.
Definitely 20 now. But yeah, who was it? College Humor did a Michael Bay-esque Dora the Explorer trailer, which Keith had never seen. And that is what you are looking at if you see Ariel Winter up there as Dora.
Thomas said both.
No.
Oh, no. It's not good.
Hold on. Hang on. We've got this.
Inappropriate.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, Thomas. Family show, sort of, kind of.
Sometimes when we can be. So for those that aren't familiar, I feel like we should at least give some background. Dean is a big Transformers fan, and Michael Bay has ruined his childhood.
No, I just refuse to admit that it's out there. That's all. I'll just go back.
How many of them have you seen of the 5 movies? There's 5, right?
I saw 4.
Okay, so you didn't see The Last Night.
No, I didn't. No, the only I saw was the last one was Age of Extinction before that?
Yeah, Age of Extinction before that. Yeah.
I saw that when I was homesick one day because it was on Netflix at the time.
So
I think
like,
actually,
mine as well.
I think it actually made me sicker. It was horrible. At that point, they weren't even trying to be Transformers anymore. They didn't transform. They just like exploded into like these CGI cubes and morphed into whatever other form they were going to.
But there were dinosaur Transformers.
They were dinosaurs for the last 2 minutes of the film, and they weren't actual characters in their own right.
Wait, Power Rangers.
What?
Transformer dinosaurs are basically Power Rangers, right?
No.
They're different.
They're
Zords?
not. No.
Little
Transformers are
little
sentient
Zord-like?
beings on their own.
And
They're
Zords
not
have little
piloted
Asian
by
people in
little
them. Little Asian people.
Until they take their
little white kids,
until they
either
take
way.
their helmets off, and then they become American for some
I
reason.
don't really see a lot of
And
the
sometimes
difference,
change
but-
gender.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay, it sounds the same to me, but
It's not. It's completely different.
We could do a
It's
show.
completely different.
Completely different.
Okay, all right, okay.
We'll have a show one day where Dean just educates everybody on Transformers.
And why they're not the same as Zords, Power Ranger Zords.
Basically.
Voltron is the same as Power Rangers.
Yes.
All right.
That is a better
Okay,
analogy
I accept what you're saying.
than the words that you were saying that are coming
Yeah,
out of
no,
your
you are
mouth.
saying words right now, so I acknowledge that is happening.
So yeah. So Michael Bay producing a Dora the Explorer explosion movie.
Weird, but all right. So that is
And
that is the thing that's happening.
If you haven't gotten a chance to see it, and it is like 5 years old, the image that we took from that college humor trailer of Dora the Explorer is worth a watch if you guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's probably about 5 years old. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
It's worth a watch, Dino.
when the show is over. Google it, but keep watching.
For now.
Yes.
Or listening.
Yes, or
Yes.
yeah, however you are paying attention. Third news item. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Star Trek Discovery is renewed for a second season, which means I should probably watch it. I was always a Star Trek fan. My parents were big fans of The Next Generation, so I watched it when I was a kid. And I just have not committed to CBS All Access. And
Well, you mentioned earlier the stuff your parents got you into. Star Trek was one of them.
Star Trek was one of them. So I don't know. We might have to have a discussion about adding that to the monthly. I mean,
You sound so hurt.
no, I am hurt because I don't want to. I don't want to pay for their stupid app. I have like major issues with it, and I don't want to feed into their stupid corporate monopoly of like somehow managing to have the highest ratings. Like that blows my mind, and somehow they always do year after year, and I feel like they treat us badly because they're not on Hulu, and I want them to be, and I have a problem with it. But
Or Netflix, like the rest of the world.
I know.
Yes and no.
But they
'cause
are abroad, which is super helpful to me.
How I Met Your Mother is on CBS, but they
Yeah, but
won't
that's
let
been
you.
off the air for 5 years.
But they won't let me download it. I want it to be my background show, and they won't let me download it because
Yeah.
CBS is jerks.
I know.
So, Dean, you haven't started watching it yet, have you?
I like Sarah. I'm a lifelong Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Grew up with it. Sarah and I just finished watching The Next Generation on Netflix and started Deep Space Nine. I'm annoyed with CBS because they are now making me choose between watching a show that I would love to watch and refusing to buy into their scheme for their service.
that is exactly where I am.
I absolutely refuse to pay any money for CBS All Access. If they put the show out on DVD, I'll buy that and use my money to show them that's where I'd rather see the content. But until then, I'm stuck waiting. I'm glad the show. There's part of me that's glad the show is good because I want
Yeah,
Star Trek to be
I
good.
know, me too.
I've been listening to podcasts of the reviewers watching the show, and so I'm kind of up to date with kind of what's going on with it and seeing the direction it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds intriguing. Whether or not it would actually feel like Star Trek to me, I don't know because I haven't seen it. But if it comes out in another format, I'll definitely pick it up. I'm not even certain I'd be willing to get a free trial of CBS All Access once it's completely out to watch that because that would again be promoting their stupid service.
I really want to dig my heels in, but I don't know. I also hear so many good things about it, and I am a Star Trek fan, and the original Star Trek broke ground in so many ways. And
Is anybody out there watching yet? Anybody watching anybody that's watching Star Trek Discovery, had to word that properly.
Yeah, let us know.
Or anybody listening.
Although I will say, Ken just commented, the Dinobots would have bitten Optimus's head off if he had talked to them like that in the comics.
Is that correct, Dean?
That is absolutely correct.
All right, good to know. Good to know.
The Dinobots were Do you really want to go into it?
No,
if you get me started, I won't.
I'll
stop.
just accept this conversation that's going on over my head, for which I am a.
I only saw the first Transformers movie. I don't even think I gave the second one a shot. I stopped after the first one. The first one was good, and I was like, all right, I'm good here.
Keith, are we going to get CBS All Access?
It sounds like we're going to kind of have to.
I mean, I've always been the stubborn holdout here. You've always been kind of on the fence about it. I mean,
I have all sorts of crap I haven't caught up with yet.
We
so,
just dropped Supergirl.
Yeah.
We did. We dropped Supergirl
We
like a
did.
bad habit because of the CBS restrictions on it, and then I attempted to legally acquire them and wound up encountering sexy singles in our area, which
Oh, yeah.
Is that why you haven't been here for a couple of weeks?
it just means that I
Sarah doesn't computer very well.
I do not computer, and I called Keith. And
Despite that computer in her lap, she doesn't computer very
there's
well.
like 4 download buttons, and they all look like download buttons, and one of them.
That would be the point.
Well, I
That's how it's a
obviously
scam.
followed the wrong one when I was attempting to very legally acquire.
Okay, so Travis chimed in.
Okay.
He said he watches it. The biggest issue, aside from the all access part, is that it absolutely should not have been a prequel. It needed to move forward in the timeline. After the 2-hour pilot, it starts digging into classically Star Trek territory.
Really? Well, that's
Yeah.
sort of the whole premise of the show, is that it's a prequel, right?
That was the way I've seen the advertisements.
That's the way. It's supposed to be a prequel at this point to the original series. It takes place 10 years before Kirk on the Enterprise.
Right.
From everything that I've read, it doesn't feel like it completely matches up. Like, obviously, like there's no way in 10 years you get from the uniforms in Star Trek Discovery to the uniforms you see in the original series. Some of the technology is more advanced. It seems like.
Alternate universe, then possibly, or are they teasing it?
I have no. They're teasing.
From what I'm sure you've been reading.
They're teasing the mirror. They're going to be doing the mirror universe.
Yeah.
I think it would have been an absolutely outstanding plot twist is that if it was revealed this entire Star Trek Discovery takes place in the mirror universe and it's not like the universe that we know from the original series.
I think
that would be a stellar direction to go. But I don't think that's what they're doing. But
it's disappointing.
There was something else that was on CBS that made me want to download it, and now I can't remember what it is.
Young Sheldon.
No, it was definitely not Young Sheldon. There was another show.
Oh, was it that one, the social media thing where they were solving?
Yes. Someone recommended that show to me, and it was my buddy Matt who works at the aquarium and does social media for them. I can't remember.
They solve crime using social media.
Yes, it was
What's it called?
It was called Sarah's favorite show. Because
that's a horrible name for a show.
Well, I happen to like it. Thank you very much. No, it was oh gosh, I wish I could remember now. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, no, it's about this social media mogul. It's not Zuckerberg, but it is Zuckerberg. And his daughter gets murdered, and he sells his social network for a $1 or whatever, and then starts a new one where basically armchair crime solver sleuth type people crowdsource solving crimes, which is such an interesting.
So they crowdsource evidence, is what you're telling me.
Well, I mean, not really. They just all talk out theories and figure it out, and whatever. So I don't know. It was really interesting, and the whole premise got me so excited because social media is my thing, and true crime is my thing, and I kind of love one of my favorite things about watching, when Making a Murderer came out. One of my favorite things about that was just seeing all the public reaction. Following that subreddit was one of the best things that I ever did because it was all these people with all these crazy theories, and I loved it. So yeah, oh man, it has Piven in it, Jeremy Piven, right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Hold on, now it's gonna drive me nuts until I look it up. But yeah, I don't know. We might have to look into it.
Okay.
I don't know. Travis, tell us, is it worth it?
The All Access, you mean?
Yeah, All Access.
One thing, Dean, you mentioned the outfits. Doesn't make sense that you can go from the outfits in Discovery to the original series in 10 years. That's always bugged me for the Star Wars universe. With going from Stormtroopers to First Order. I mean, granted, it's like 30 years, so a little bit more of a longer a timeline. It's just like, did they really spend all that money to convert the uniforms over? And maybe the First Order is a lot smaller than the Stormtrooper, the Empire was with the Stormtroopers. But I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, you guys spent all this money to make all these modifications in 30 years. I feel like your money could have been better spent, I don't know, killing rebels instead of spending it on tech. Well, not tech, but like uniform upgrades. Yeah. And just modifying things ever so slightly.
The wisdom of the crowd, by the way. That's what it's called.
Wisdom, okay.
And in terms of the classic Trek that they're also doing, Harry Mudd is a character that just got introduced on the show.
Oh, yeah.
From the original series.
Isn't he played by Rainn Wilson?
He's played by Rainn Wilson. And
I really like Rainn Wilson, too.
It's a darker it's a darker take on Harry Mudd as a character than we're used to from the original series.
The thing is that I don't mind paying for great content. I am not convinced that this platform Hulu is consistently worth it. Netflix is consistently worth it. I just am not convinced. But part of the reason why Netflix and Hulu are always worth the money is because A, they're cheap, but B, also
and convenient.
But also, and I already own them. But also they it's like a collaboration. It's a lot of different minds. It's a lot of different directors and producers and visions and different levels of there's kids shows and there's adult shows and there's comedies and there's dramas, and I just am not convinced that CBS has really nailed that cocktail. And that's why I don't want to put money into it, because I just, on Netflix, you could binge your old favorites if Friends is constantly in the most frequently viewed, right?
Well, and Hulu has the old Will and Grace and the new Will and Grace.
Right. And Hulu has their, Handmaid's Tale swept the Emmys. Right. And Netflix has its really brilliant original shows, too. Mm-hmm. But then CBS, they've got one or two things I want to see, but would probably be fine if I didn't.
Right.
If this model is successful, then you're going to see, you're starting to see it with Disney doing their own streaming service. All the premium cable channels have their own streaming service. It just dilutes.
I don't want to encourage the behavior.
It dilutes the content so much that no one's going to get the viewership that they want, because everyone's going to be forced at one point to pick and choose what they subscribe to.
I will agree and disagree all at the same time. Few points. The thing about CBS All Access that annoys me is that I don't think it's available on Apple TV. And
never mind.
Some people love Apple, some people don't. I enjoy it because a lot of my stuff is Apple and it just all connects really great. But the Apple TV has been perfect for all these apps because we're getting a buttload of them, as we've discussed plenty of times on the show. And I can organize them all on the Apple TV and it works great. I have no problem getting all these apps because it's so convenient with the Apple TV. And I'm assuming the Fire Stick and the Roku are also just as convenient. But with the CBS All Access not being there, it's just kind of meh. But there has been one service that Disney has come out. I think it's Disney. I don't know who it is at this point. I'm pretty sure it's Disney, though. Did you buy Spider-Man Homecoming?
Not yet.
On DVD. Okay, when you buy it, there is a service in there that you will download the digital stuff. Because you and I are very similar in this aspect, Dean. I like to buy the DVD, and I also like to make sure it has a digital copy with it. Whether it's Vudu or iTunes or Ultraviolet or whatever.
Just in case that one closet catches on fire.
Yeah, backups. Yeah. You never know. Skynet. There is a new app now, and I don't know if Kevin's still watching, but Kevin immediately texted me as soon as he got it as well. He was like, because have you guys gotten this Movies Anywhere?
I've gotten the emails about it, but I've tried to sign up so I can move my Disney movies over to it, and it refuses to send me the email to verify my account.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't.
Okay.
So I've been.
Well, that's annoying.
Because it verified. Yeah. I mean, I got mine verified. I downloaded Spider-Man Homecoming, which is still a delightful movie, and it combined my iTunes, it combined my Vudu, all in one thing, and then I just throw it up on my Apple TV, and it's glorious. Yeah. It syncs them across all platforms, too. So if you've got it on Vudu, it ties into Movies Anywhere, which ties it back into your iTunes. So now my iTunes have movies that the Vudu had. It's glorious.
And I mean, that's great. The thing with the streaming services, though, is you have, Amazon says, hey, you can put your Starz subscription in with Amazon. You can put your HBO subscription with Amazon. I'm still paying the same price as I would be paying for the individual apps. I'm still paying more and more money for all these streaming services. Whether or not I can get to them all from one place or not is irrelevant to the money that I would have to be spending to get all these services.
Right.
For me.
Understandable. I mean, yeah, you're still paying for all these services, and we don't have cable, so it's kind of basically what we were paying for cable at one point has now been replaced by all these services.
Well, we're not there yet. To be fair, they set that bar pretty high.
But I mean, if they got to, it's getting back to a point where if the first service like Amazon or whatever that starts somehow giving you discounts for bundling these streaming services into one bill, so it basically becomes like cable. Yeah. I think that whoever gets there first is gonna corner it for at least for a little while. Kind of the way that Netflix originally did with streaming content.
And I think you can do it with other services, but I know iTunes. The way I pay for HBO is through iTunes, so that's been convenient in that sense.
See, I think it's an opportunity for the cable companies to figure it out, but I don't think they ever will.
No, they won't.
They're in that mindset where they just need to shove people back onto their old system, and that's not going to happen anymore. No. Last news item?
Yes. Do you want to touch on Travis's comment before we leave Star Trek Discovery?
Go for it.
He said it didn't need to be I'm assuming he means prequel. Sorry, Travis. I know it's sometimes the delay between, so like unless you're super specific, sometimes we kind of forget where the comment was. There's he comments at like a few minutes after we've had the discussion anyways. So I'm assuming he means it didn't need to be a prequel. You can tell the exact same story after Voyager and not have to screw with the Klingons like they have. Narratively, there's no justification for it. It's allowing them to use minor characters from original series like Sarek, but did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Sarek?
Yeah.
But it simultaneously opens up a can of worms that are actively annoying longtime fans nearly every week. The Klingons and the Vulcans have both seen some significant changes. Mudd was introduced last week, as you mentioned, Dean, and was legitimately good in Wilson's hands. All Access is really only worth it for Trek. Almost everything else on the platform is otherwise available on Netflix and Amazon. I think it's a good note to end on. Star Trek Discovery news item.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, that the Wisdom of the Crowd might be on Hulu.
Okay.
I feel like someone mentioned that to me.
I'm with Dean. We can just buy Star Trek Discovery after the fact.
That's fine with me.
So
last news item is from the world of music. Justin Timberlake is performing at the Super Bowl halftime show this year, and that's only because the Joe Gosman Band was busy.
Yeah.
They asked us.
They
were
did.
Booked.
I know you're booked. Can't do it. Turn it down. So I'm hoping for a wardrobe malfunction because Justin Timberlake is awesome. He announced this on Fallon. So.
Who do you want the wardrobe malfunction to be on, Timberlake or Fallon? Because I'm just assuming Fallon's going to be at the halftime show now.
Oh well, yeah.
Since they announced it together, I'm just assuming they're performing together.
No, Timberlake. The more I see of Timberlake, the better.
He's a good-looking man. I can see that.
He is. We would be married if it wasn't for you, me and Timberlake.
That's fun.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'd be married to Leah Thompson if she was, younger and single, and I wasn't with you.
Well.
It's the first thing. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind.
It's because you're Kermit's favorite.
Because you're a nerd.
Probably. Could have gone with. I would have to go with another name, and the other name that popped in my head, Sigourney Weaver. I really got to start going younger here.
He likes the cougars. He likes the older ladies.
Hold on, young actress, Ariel Winter. Did I do it? Is that she's a young actress, right? Sarah Hyland. No, I'm just going Modern Family because that's what's in my head. Younger actresses.
Alison Brie.
Yeah,
even I know your list.
Yep. Alison Brie.
Anyway,
my list.
news content.
Yes.
Yeah. So Timberlake announced that he is performing at the halftime show. Which, who was it last year?
Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Was
it Gaga? Yeah, because she had the circular piano, and I was like,
"Ooh,
I want that circular
that's
piano."
Right. And then what? There was. I don't know.
Katy Perry was before that.
Katy Perry and The Who one year. We just played all the...
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars was really the best one.
Oh, Bruno Mars is great, though. He's such a wonderful showman. I don't know. I feel like... And see, now, the NFL is not to speak against our overlords, but it's another one that annoys me with their restricted content. Because they have this... They're a non-profit. And they have the control... over this content that is highly, highly sought after, and they use this power to screw their very average viewer. And I don't they limit it so much that they cause blackouts if people don't pay the exorbitant ticket prices for these monstrous stadiums, which are like, what, minimum tickets are $80 a ticket. You can't bring your family to a football game for $80 a ticket. You can't. Most people can't even afford to go themselves.
Yeah.
So, but if they don't sell out, they black out the games in the hometowns. And I have so many issues with the NFL, but people
I don't think you're the only one.
No,
but
I know.
That's for a discussion for another show.
No, I know I'm not the only one, and it's honestly sort of tangential to pop culture anyway. But the way they control their content makes me absolutely crazy, and therefore I just think interests in, stuff like the Super Bowl. It's not the same event that it used to be.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember caring about the Super Bowl, in the last 5 years or so.
I would catch it
because...
because...
Oh, look, Popped is talking to itself on Facebook.
I was about to say, on a lighter note, Matt has the same list I do in women.
Nice.
I mean, Mila Kunis, there we go. I'm back. I had to rethink of my list. So, yeah, Matt decided to chime in and not change his settings to himself.
I see that.
So that's why he's commenting as Popped. So
well, so are you.
Well, I always comment as Popped. It's rare I comment as myself on Popped. It's if Popped is well, you always respond back as yourself. You don't, you never comment as Popped per se.
I know, because you always do.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like I always do the Popped thing. So
all right. So, do you want to get on to the big topic?
We have a topic?
We do have a topic.
We were prepared for tonight?
We were talking about it before we went on, and we had to stop. Dean and I were debating, and we had to stop because we were going to, squeeze all the juice out of it before the show started. So, the topic tonight, which has been widely conversed on Facebook, I shared it with my network and got a lot of feedback. I'm very grateful. Thank you for commenting. Is movies that we maybe should have seen and have not seen somehow, like really iconic movies or well-known movies, or movies so bad they're good, or movies so good they're bad, or just something that has floated to the top of everyone's lists. Oh well, of course I've seen X, Y, and Z, and at this point you haven't, and you don't know how to, you don't want to ask. You know what I mean? So we were discussing Indiana Jones. I had not seen Indiana Jones, and I really didn't care, except for hunky Harrison Ford, hunky era Harrison Ford. That was
It's the only way I was able to get her to watch it.
It really was, because that and the stupid book.
Whatever it takes.
I mean, but I watched it and was kind of like, meh.
It's depressing.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
In her defense, the boat scene gets a little drawn out.
Yeah.
I rewatching it with her, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to let's get to the Nazis. Let's have some face melting Nazis here.
Get to the Nazis, yeah.
The boat scene has one of the best lines in the movie,
which is,
"It's not the years, it's the mileage."
Fair point. Fair point.
So much has changed in movies in general that seeing a new movie is, I don't know. I didn't love the story. It was fine, but I didn't. I mean, it's different for you, Dean.
You're hurting Dean.
You saw it as a kid.
This is actually starting to make me cry.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I mean, I didn't hate it, but okay. But that is the bad example because I've seen Indiana Jones. I really do not care about the rest of them, and apparently, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was an abomination, so I shouldn't even bother with that anyway.
It's not an abomination. People give it a harder time than it deserves. It's not a great film. It's definitely the weakest of the four Indiana Jones films by far.
I liked the first half of it, ish.
The alien aspect of it is what didn't fit for me.
The alien aspect fit for me. It was executed poorly, though, because it was, if you look at Indiana Jones, it's a product of its time of sorts in the sense that it's a product of its setting, I should say. Nazis in the 30s and that kind of thing.
And I get the time, the justification for it being there. It doesn't work for me.
No, I can see that. That I agree with. Yeah, it was when the giant ants in this one. It was just silly.
Well, Vanessa says she has never seen John Wick.
John Wick isn't a classic yet, but I think
it will be.
I think time will prove that it will be a classic.
Is that a Keanu Reeves movie?
Yes.
I haven't seen it
because
either.
they kill his dog and he goes on a killing rampage.
Yeah, you never kill John Wick's dog.
Yeah, and he just goes on a killing spree, and it's the best. It actually is really good. And they build a universe.
But Keanu Reeves is a really bad actor.
He doesn't need to act in this film. He just reacts.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Dean.
It's if you're
that might be enough of a reason for me to watch it anyway.
If you're a fan of 80s era action films, then John Wick is your cup of tea.
All right. Well, let's watch it. What the hell?
Why
not?
I'll add it to the list.
Whether or not it becomes an all-time classic, I'm still waiting for the third of the John Wick films to see how it wraps up the trilogy. The second one is good.
I take your word. I'll believe it.
Yeah.
What about so The Godfather I mentioned is one I haven't seen. I remember my dad loved it. It was on the TV at various points in my life. Never watched it with him. And now Henry, it comes back on the big screen every once in a while. Henry suggested that I need to see it. Tim Anderson suggested that I need to see it.
I haven't seen it either, to be fair.
I've seen The Godfather either.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but it's one of those ones. It's like, I need to watch this, but then at the same time, it's like, where am I going to get 3 hours to sit down and watch it?
Maybe we should just figure out when we've got days off around the holidays.
I have it. When we'll power. Well, and that's another one. Actually, another one I just thought of that we needed. We had in our house for months. It was, I still get Netflix disc. I still get one sent to me. Right now, Kingsman is still sitting in the envelope somewhere in this house. You can shake your head now, Dean. I know.
It's still a recent movie. I don't know if you how are we
limiting I'm just talking about taking the time to finally get around to seeing it, despite how long I've had it. Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
We were going to watch it.
We were going to watch it and never got around to it.
We wanted to watch it because of a Drunk History we saw, because we were really into watching Drunk History. We need to start that up again.
I know,
Drunk History is pretty awesome. Like, it was our go-to show to kind of like, we have 20 minutes to kind of, hang out and eat dinner and just kill a few shows, but we didn't want to get into long-form stuff. Right now it's Bob's Burgers. Maybe it'll be Drunk History again. But we saw something about Citizen Kane and, that whole storyline, and we're like, we need to watch that movie. We had that DVD from Netflix for 6 months, and we never got around to watching it.
Okay, we are not good about that anyway, though.
No, we really aren't. I eventually bought The Nice Guys because we'd had the Netflix disc for so long.
And it came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was streaming. Matt says he's never seen Alien or Blade Runner, and I feel like neither of those could possibly be true.
Matt,
really?
Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt's constantly said he's never seen Alien. I didn't know he hadn't seen Blade.
I've seen it. How is it possible that I've seen Alien?
Watch the peaking. You're getting really loud. I'm blowing out the ears. Yeah, there you go.
I don't understand how it's possible that Matt has not seen Alien and I have.
It's hard to imagine, but
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have one forcing him to watch Alien. I mean, he's seen Aliens, but not Alien.
Well, I've never seen Aliens.
Right. Well, now you can pull the mic back. It's just when you get really loud, you still have.
Aren't you in charge of the levels?
I am, but we tested your levels before we started. You're like, oh yeah, this is as loud as I'm gonna get.
He doesn't have a limiter on it.
Yeah. So when you get really loud, when you get loud, pull away from the microphone.
Well, that's ridiculous. So another one that was mentioned on my Facebook page. A Christmas Story. Someone mentioned they'd never seen A Christmas Story.
Wow.
A friend of mine mentioned she never saw The Princess Bride, which is my favorite. And some of these movies I could see not, kind of flying under the radar. Princess Bride is kind of a cult.
As is the Christmas movie.
As is the Christmas Story,
And some of it is a generational thing.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're maybe 2 or 3 years younger or 2 or 3 years older, you might have sort of shot the gap there, which I totally get. Dean, what movie have you not seen? I got it. You mentioned it earlier. I got a good one that surprises me.
I haven't seen The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
That's one that everyone seems to love. Sticking with Halloween and in October, I haven't seen Seven or Saw.
I saw Saw 2.
I saw the first and maybe second Saw, but I haven't seen any of the rest of them.
Do you know that I saw Saw 2 on a first date and then went on to date that person for a year and a half.
Well, you've got an eclectic taste.
I mean, look who you're dating now.
It's true.
It just doesn't really surprise me as much as you think it should.
It surprises me.
He's got a very valid point. I'm surprised you haven't seen the first Saw because it's got Carrie Newell-Bliss.
No, I have
Ellis
not
or
seen the
whatever.
first Saw.
Newells. That's what I always called it.
No, I have no interest in it. I saw Saw 2 because of it was a date and it was not good and I did not enjoy anything about the movie. But I saw it and whatever. But I don't think that one is one of those ones where like everyone should have seen it. But Seven is really good. I
haven't seen 7 either.
Just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Memento was another one that got mentioned. I actually haven't seen that one either.
I saw Memento. In my memory, it was really weird. So I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't think I've seen it since like early college, maybe high school, early college.
I haven't seen Sixth Sense all the way through.
I don't think I have either.
I've seen it in pieces.
Well, now I mean, the ending is blown. Like
well,
everybody.
yeah.
It's like one of the most notoriously known endings ever.
Vanessa says she's seen most of these movies. Matt says Aliens is one of his favorite movies. But I think Alien and Aliens are a very different kind of movie.
They're completely different in terms of genre.
Yeah, Alien. I mean, they're both sci-fi. I'd throw them both under the sci-fi blanket genre. But then within that, I'd say Alien is horror, and Aliens is action. Yeah.
I wasn't nuts about Alien. Maybe
you might like Aliens.
I might like Aliens.
Yeah, your enjoyment of one movie says nothing about what your enjoyment of the other movie will be.
Yeah.
So you know which one got quite discussed on Facebook was Gone with the Wind. So Gone with the Wind is in the book.
Yes.
So at some point you'll have to watch it. You have not seen it, right?
Correct.
Keith? So Gone with the Wind was one of my dad's favorite movies. He loved it, and I saw it. Therefore, a lot. It was a glue movie for him whenever it was on TV, and he just considered it one of those good, like, rainy, rainy day movies. And it is a pretty epic story. But he was born and raised in Georgia. Well, no, he wasn't born in Georgia, but he was raised in Georgia.
Right.
And I am the daughter of a Georgia boy who lived in Atlanta for 9 years. So there's a different context to it, and Alex brought up a pretty good point in that, like, it doesn't really age well because it's Civil War era.
Right.
So there's slaves and antebellum
and it's a
politics.
little slanted.
It's not. I don't know. I guess in the context of cinema, though, I think it's still really well. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about the greater context of cinema to say that it should be up in the top 5, but it's generally considered one of those like really great movies that you should see at some point. And I don't know, that one came up a lot. I really like Gone with the Wind. It's long.
It's okay.
You have to buckle in for it.
The only scene that always comes to mind is unfortunately for the movie, is the horse that gets killed.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's something about the effect of that horse falling over, which cracks me up every time I watch it.
Okay, now how does it fall over? Is it more of a
you remember those
Animal House?
Remember those
Blazing
old,
Saddles?
Remember those old toys that were like the little puppet type things that were all the joints were connected by string, and you pushed up from the bottom and it just kind of collapsed on it.
Yeah,
that's what the horse does in Gone with the Wind.
I can get behind that.
I mean, okay, but there's like a whole context to it. I mean,
yeah. Now, obviously,
but see, I always remember the scene that immediately follows the horse dying, which is where she has this iconic. It's right before the intermission, and she's got this great iconic situation, and she's like, "I will never go hungry again," and it's like, it's after the war, and she's been just totally destroyed, and that's what I always remember.
Vanessa says, "Don't see it; it's horrible." I'm assuming she means Gone with the Wind.
She's from Michigan. I'm just saying, no, she's gonna think it's horrible. And I totally respect that. Like, so much of it...
Okay, so Vanessa, what's a classic movie we should see then?
Continue. Yeah, that's a good point. But, like, so much of Gone with the Wind, I think, is the context in which it's presented.
Yeah.
It came to me as this iconic, incredible movie because that is how my parents saw it.
Right.
So that was the context that it was delivered to me, along with a dose of, like, good old Southern history, which, of course, as we know, is very different than what actually happened.
Right.
And, for better or for worse, films reflect the time in which they're produced.
Correct.
Blazing Saddles would never hold up.
And this ties back into our earlier discussion about the Evil Dead. It was a movie. It doesn't. To be fair, love the movie. It doesn't hold up well for now. But back in the late 70s, 1980 when it was released, but they made it in the late 70s. I think they made it 77, 78, a little bit of filming in 79, then they finally got it released in 80. There wasn't much of many movies of that level or of that caliber in the sense of horror or the sense of indie, which is why it was such a big hit.
The indiness of it, the fact that it ends basically with almost with everyone dying, the negativity of it was hardcore for the time. Right. Obviously, the effects don't hold up because even for when it was made, they were on a very shoestring budget. So you had to take that into account in some ways.
Bruce Campbell actually put his family's house up on the. I get not for mortgage. Put it up on the bank against the bank as collateral. There we go. Words, as collateral for the bank loan to finish up, so they could finish filming the movie because they ran out of funding about halfway through the movie.
And Vanessa was talking about The Sixth Sense, by the way. She was not talking about Gone with the Wind. However, I would not be surprised if she hated Gone with the Wind too. It is long.
If I had to pick a classic film that I would think that people should see, personal preference for me would have to be Ben-Hur. I love Ben-Hur.
I've never seen it either. Although I will say, despite only having seen them a couple times, I was legitimately shocked today when someone told me they hadn't seen Star Wars, which seems really weirdly hypocritical for me. But I hadn't seen it until I was 22, and I'm not at all part of that fandom. But someone mentioned to me that they hadn't seen it.
You'll appreciate this. My former boss, Heather, at my old company, had never seen Star Wars. So this past Christmas, she bought all 6 episodes on Blu-ray.
No. What order did she watch them in?
She came in. She was like, I need to watch season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? No. And I think Force Awakens was about to come out or something like that. So she'd gotten that one as well. And it was. Anyways, I'm trying to figure out my timeline. And I said, no, you need to watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. She's like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, that's not the point. This is the order you got to watch them in. Don't argue with me. Thank God her boss was an actual big Star Wars. Anytime he would come into town, him and I would just geek out on Star Wars stuff. So
it makes sense. He helped chronologically how they were shot. So
right.
So it's that way.
And that's kind of the thing. And her kids watched it, and they were like, all right, these are the movies you guys had to put up with as kids. But it's like. But she did. But my boss did not see it until she was in her 40s.
If you're used to the mind-blowing CGI special effects, it looks cheesy. That's the only reason why I was able to make it through Alien, because I was like, this is ridiculous.
Even the pacing of movies has changed drastically.
It absolutely has.
That I posted on the Facebook page. Oh geez, what's the night? Tuesday. It might have been yesterday or I think it was over the weekend. Over this past weekend, someone had taken the Empire Strikes Back trailer and recut it. Or they might have taken the trailer, they might have taken just scenes from the movie and recut it to match the pacing of the Last Jedi trailer, and it looks like a totally different movie based on because of that. Because back in the 80s and stuff, they had narration over the trailers. None of that, specific, not just a character narrating something like we did with the most recent Last Jedi trailer, like a specific narrator that we're not going to hear from again.
That's a really good point.
And now it's usually voiceover from the movie. Or it's just nothing at all. It's just a bunch of scenes and it's cut together. And it's amazing how much just the marketing and the trailers have changed. So, definitely the movies have changed.
So, Vanessa brings up, now there's a whole run of classic musicals, which I love, but she brings up The King and I, which is a good one. I assume she means the old one and not the newer one, which I don't even want to see.
Well, it's got Yul Brynner in it, so it's automatically awesome. The old one.
Oh, the old one. Yeah.
Isn't Ben Kingsley in the new one, or am I thinking something else?
I don't know. I don't know anything about
Jodie
the new
Foster's in it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anyways,
The old one was so good. Yeah. Casablanca, Vanessa mentions, and that's on your list. I have seen it exclusively in screen on the green situations. It was one movies outdoors, where you go picnic or whatever, smuggle in your bottle of wine and whatever. And that was just a whole other experience that I loved. I would be surprised if someone hadn't seen Ghostbusters or someone hadn't seen Back to the Future. That would genuinely shock me. someone said they hadn't seen Shawshank, and I was surprised. But see, Shawshank is one of my favorite movies.
I don't think I've seen it in one sitting.
Really?
Yeah. I can always catch pieces of it, and I've gotten the story and the gist of it, but I have never seen it in one sitting all the way through. Actually, some movies I haven't seen that I want to see, and I've been meaning to, and so much so that I was actually looking at a collection this past weekend on Amazon and on iTunes because I want to figure out how the best way to get it. Kubrick stuff. I've seen 2001: Space Odyssey, but I haven't seen, The Shining. I haven't seen Clockwork Orange, and I want to see these. I just haven't gotten around to it,
Yeah.
I saw The Shining, but part of the reason why The Shining it's one of the few Stephen King movies I've seen because I'm not a big fan of the scary stuff. But The Shining I saw, and one of the reasons why it was so good was because I knew the context around how terrible that shooting was.
Yeah.
Because he basically...
That's part of the reason I want to see it.
Gave Shelley Duvall psychological issues shooting that movie. And it almost... Like, I hate that she went through that, but it puts a whole other layer of, like, crazy, literally, on that movie. So
Clockwork Orange is just demented.
Sounds like my kind of movie.
I mean, it's interesting.
On a level of 1 to Requiem for a Dream, where does it fall?
Oh, that's quite a range you've got there.
Good Lord. I actually haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, so I can't.
That one.
It's an odd one. I don't expect people to have seen that one.
It's
Clockwork Orange is definitely not a family film.
Neither is Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream. It's not even like a person film.
It's not something I'd watch with a giant group or anything. Or
all right,
definitely
you guys,
not family.
tell us what we need to have seen but haven't seen.
Let's make a list.
Yeah, we should. We should put a list together. We'll publish it on popshow.com.
Yep.
I mean, there's some. Let's see. I'm trying to think of things that you're way ahead of me with pop culture, references, things like that. Let me go to my list.
I know the references, but it doesn't mean I have seen, said things.
Sure.
So.
Let's see.
Matt's never seen all of The Shining or Clockwork Orange. We might have to have a popped movie night.
I know. Well, we have so many things that we need to do.
Clockwork Orange is better than The Shining.
Vanessa said Casablanca's coming to the big screen again in November.
Nice. I've seen Blade Runner a couple times, but I think a bunch of people saw the old Blade Runner to watch the new one.
Yeah.
Well, you have to ask them which cut of the film they watched too.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that stuff actually comes in.
And yes, Matt, this is how we rank stuff now. 1 to Requiem for a Dream.
I need to know what's on the opposite end of the scale from Requiem for a Dream.
I said 1 just because it was easiest, and I just wanted to go for the Requiem for a Dream joke. But, I guess you could go from, I don't know, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind to Requiem for a Dream as far as trippy out there movies.
Clockwork Orange would be closer to, from what I know of it, Requiem for a Dream.
Okay. Yeah, Requiem for a Dream is just a dark, twisted movie.
Clockwork Orange is not something you're really supposed to like, I guess.
Yeah.
It's because the characters are that depraved in it. But, it's well done. But
that just made me think of one. American Psycho. I've seen it. I know Alexa. I don't know if Alexis is still watching, but I feel like she has seen it or at least really liked it.
She really likes Christian Bale.
That's what, okay.
So don't get it twisted. That's the point of the movie.
But that's one of those things where it's not like you're not supposed to really like the character because the character's kind of odd.
So someone getting off of that like kind of dark genre, we had someone mention Footloose and Grease, which is interesting because I'm about to blow Vanessa's mind. I have never seen The Sound of Music.
I always catch the tail end of that when it's on TV.
I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen it all the way through. And I know the songs, and I know the references.
That's one of my Sarah's favorite movies, so I've seen that one.
It's one of those things that there's no reason why I shouldn't have seen it. I love Julie Andrews. But for whatever reason, I just never have seen it consistently.
Have you seen West Side Story?
Yes.
My Fair Lady?
Yes.
Okay, you're good.
No, I love West Side Story and I love My Fair Lady, and I've seen them both in various stage performances too when they toured through Atlanta.
Vanessa's got another one. Donnie Darko. I have not seen it.
How have I seen Donnie Darko and you haven't? In fact, I was scared to do laundry in your old basement because of Donnie Darko.
I get that. I know the reference. The bunny rabbit. I've seen the images.
Donnie
He's
Darko
creepy.
is a weird movie.
I think that's part of it. Is some of these are just so far out there but they're what are now classics at this point. Matt brings up another good point. There are reasons he's never made it through it. They're kind of long and he falls asleep to them. You know, some of them are a little long.
Yeah, you got to kind of be invested in them.
And especially for the time they were made. I mean, you know, average movie time when, you know, we were growing up was probably about an hour and a half.
90 minutes. 90 minutes was the standard.
Hour 45. So, I mean, Gone with the Wind is how long? Sarah, can you look that up real quick? I mean, that was made...
Like 3 hours at
least. And that was made in like the 30s and 40s. And there was, you know,
Well, they did not divert a whole lot from the source material. 3 hours and 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
like
that's two. That's 2 movies.
Well,
no, we're talking about Times Early with Justice League. That is 2 Man of Steels, or no, 2 BV. It's 2 Justice Leagues.
Yeah.
There we go. It's 2 Justice Leagues.
It's we're not using that as a measurement of time.
I have a feeling that even though it's the shortest movie, the amount of action in that movie you're going to feel drained by the end of it. Justice League.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Matt's also. Hold on. See, okay. Again, guys, I don't know when these comments came in. So Matt is saying what really in all caps. I'm not sure why.
Oh, it's probably The Sound of Music. That's why Vanessa's saying OMG. I know.
I read Vanessa's mind on something. I don't remember what I said, but I read her mind. No, that's okay. Yeah, so Matt said the hills are alive. So
yeah, I know.
The hills have eyes too. I'm not sure if you knew that, but the hills also have eyes.
I never saw it, but I can say for a fact that they do have eyes.
Yeah, they do. Breakfast at Tiffany's. I've seen it. We saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, we did, but I made you.
Because you really had to twist. Again, you like all the movies you've taken me to see, you haven't had to fight me on. The only one you've really had to fight me on, and you let me get drunk during. Was
oh, I did. I did.
Was 50 Shades of Grey.
I know, and you still won't watch the second one with me.
Because no one should watch that movie.
I made him watch it with me.
It made some great live tweeting.
I have no doubts.
I wish we could go back and. I don't even remember what the hashtag was, but. It was out there, and I just...
He wanted to live tweet my comments during Evil Dead.
I wish I'd thought of it.
Because... And I was stone sober. I was just confused. There's really no other way to explain it. Yeah, it's funny, the movies that, like, you feel like you should have seen.
Yeah. There's a good list of them. I mean, and honestly, that book is going to be a big help. There's a lot of foreign movies in that book, but there's a lot of movies in that book that'll, you know, help us kind of tie in. Okay, yeah, we definitely do need to see this. We need to see that. Somehow we're gonna have this. I mean, we're gonna have to break up Gone with the Wind over a weekend or something. I can't. I'm not gonna be able to sit there for 4 hours.
It's a long. I mean, yeah, it's an investment.
Matt said Clockwork is more. He just can't deal with the rape scene in it. So if you haven't seen Clockwork Orange, there's a rape scene.
It's pretty brutal.
Reservoir Dogs. Never saw it.
I have seen it. I've seen it once. It was good. I'm not a big Tarantino fan.
You
it's
know,
hit or miss for me.
Pulp Fiction I've seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if people hadn't.
Yeah.
That's another one that feels like it kind of...
Fight Club.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah,
but it's one of those ones I've only seen like once, maybe twice. But
once
was
enough for me.
Yeah, you know, I saw it. I couldn't tell you the minute plot points, but they were still there. You know, I mean, I still saw it.
Have you guys seen Goonies?
Yes. Yeah. I own Goonies. We have seen the Goonies.
What about Airplane?
Yes.
Yes.
Don't call me Shirley.
But but that's another one. I would not be totally surprised if someone said they hadn't seen Airplane. Even though, like, I love it, but it's ridiculous and slapstick and, like, not something you see every day. I mean, that's why I love
Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Not one I would expect people to have seen.
Yeah.
But the ones who have seen it love it.
Well, yeah, of course.
I'm not friends with them.
Last Starfighter. You seen that one?
I
have it on Blu-ray, but I feel like I haven't even watched it.
I might have to borrow that from you if you've got it on
you're
Blu-ray.
more welcome to. You have one rental available. You return to Ash versus Evil Dead Season 2, so you have a rental. But I've seen bits and pieces of it. Jaws, I expect people to have seen by now.
I have not seen Jaws.
Really?
I have never seen Jaws.
That we do need to see.
I would like to swim again, so keep that in mind.
Once you see the shark, it's going to be like Evil Dead, though. Once you've seen the shark, you're like, oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I do like
Richard Dreyfuss. I can't believe I haven't seen Jaws, but I've never seen it.
Mr. Holland's Opus. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I like Mr. Holland's Opus.
But that speaks to Spielberg as a movie maker, though. Man, that's a whole other topic. Is
right.
You know, while I love physical animatronics and physical effects that I can see, and you know the characters can interact with instead of just a tennis ball on a stick, you know, those animatronics were great and those puppetries were great, but they didn't always work. So Spielberg and his genius worked around it and built some really intense scenes and build up for this, the shark. That was really kind of ridiculous when you see it. So,
I've got a good one. Braveheart.
I think I've seen it, but it didn't really stick out. I don't know if I've seen it.
I don't think I have. I think I've seen scenes of it here and there.
Yeah. Matt says Pulp Fiction and Fight Club are in his top 5. Vanessa's telling me to watch Fight Club again.
Fight Club is really good.
It was okay.
I mean, I saw the movie first and then read the book.
I think that was one of those ones that got a lot of hype, and so when you finally get around to it, you're like, all right. But maybe I just need to watch it again. Maybe. Matt says Jaws is a classic. It's more than just the shark. It's a perfect movie. I don't know if it's a perfect movie. I mean, I feel like Ghostbusters is a perfect movie.
I don't think there is such a thing as a perfect movie.
We can't do this perfect movie thing, guys. I do not have the energy.
I mean, I feel like Ghostbusters is the perfect movie.
No, not doing perfect movie. Not doing perfect movie. Speaking of imperfect movies, Die Hard.
Good movie. Love it.
Great movie.
Never saw it.
Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. That one we might have to see. I don't even know if it's in the book, but
you should watch Die Hard.
We'll have to watch it at Christmas because that's one of the movies that takes place at Christmas but isn't about Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, we'll watch it at Christmas.
Speaking of that, have you seen Gremlins?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to add a third one to this whole Christmas trilogy here. This is the Christmas trilogy movie of things that we're seeing. Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Gremlins.
Never saw Lethal Weapon.
I didn't see Lethal Weapon either.
Lethal Weapon's
I have not seen Lethal Weapon.
It is Mel Gibson in the past 15 years aside. Lethal Weapon is some great Mel Gibson.
I don't mind Mel Gibson.
I know, but
he's a moron.
He's gotten a justifiably bad rap in the past few years, and I said justifiably just so we're clear.
Oh, Matt says Die Hard is a perfect movie.
Die Hard's a
you
pretty
gotta
good
stop
movie.
throwing around the term perfect movie.
There's not much
and
wrong with
Lee
with
says
Die Hard.
Lethal Weapon is awesome. I mean, we'll watch it.
Okay, here we go. So Lee's saying Braveheart doesn't really stand up. He used to love it. It's hard to watch Mel Gibson in it now. So is it hard to watch Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon is my question then. If it's hard to watch Mel Gibson in Braveheart, is it hard to watch him in other stuff? Or is Lethal Weapon still as awesome as you said? Because it is an awesome movie. Vanessa also said The Never-Ending Story.
It's a good
one. I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
I was gonna say,
I've seen it.
I was about to say
it's been a really long time.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Really?
I don't think I have.
I mean,
I know the giant sheepdog thing flies through the air and stuff.
Luck Dragon. Come on.
Too, but
who are you?
Hey, don't get me wrong. As much as I love pop culture,
you're about to be ejected from the pop cave. Get out of here.
This is my pop cave.
I know.
You're still created this. This is my set dressing.
I
bought more.
Who named it? It was
me.
You? It was me.
I might have been drunk when you named it. Was that 2 weeks ago when you were on the show?
It was the last time I was on the show. Yeah,
it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I decorated the pop cave, which I think I'm gonna have to start selling pops at this point. So, I bought another one today.
You know what I saw this year that I hadn't seen before?
What's that?
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's a great one. Mel Brooks movies. Okay.
Which is weird. My mom was always a huge fan of Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
So that was probably why. I think it probably was inappropriate for me to see a lot of that stuff when I was a kid. Like, it's one thing to set up Gone with the Wind as an epic movie and explain the context, but explaining Blazing Saddles and like some of the stuff in Young Frankenstein to a child is probably not advised.
Okay, real quick before I ask my Mel Brooks question, Travis said Die Hard is as close to perfect as you can reasonably get, but he says RoboCop, the original RoboCop, because you got to clarify that now in 2017.
Yeah.
Is one of his favorites, but he's met a few fellow sailors because he is a sailor in the Navy. We are a big Navy contingent around here for those that aren't familiar with Norfolk. But he's met a few fellow sailors that have not seen original RoboCop.
I have not seen original RoboCop. I'm not a sailor, but I've not seen RoboCop.
It's pretty graphic.
It's
one of those.
Movie, though.
It is. Yeah. It's a really good movie. It's definitely a product of its time. It's definitely an 80s movie.
It is.
But I feel like it was early enough in the 80s that not everyone has seen it. If that makes sense.
I have seen Terminator, but not Terminator 2.
You need to see Terminator 2.
I definitely.
That's generally the consensus.
Yeah. Okay, so Vanessa loves Lethal Dragon. Lethal Weapon. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. Lee says Luck Dragon, yelling at me too, and Matt says maybe his definition of the perfect movie is kind of loose. Okay, so the question I've got to kind of tie into this, because you mentioned Mel Brooks, what is the one classic Mel Brooks film that everyone should see? Sarah, go.
name Mel Brooks movies. I don't know. I don't know directors.
Dean, I second that. Men in Tights, Space. Well, look it up. I mean, it's Spaceballs,
Well,
producers.
You didn't give me time to look it up.
All right, Dean. You look it up, Sarah. Dean, you go.
I'm torn because now there's like they have to watch my personal favorite.
A classic that people should watch. And Vanessa, Matt, Travis, Lee, what is if someone said, "Hey, I want to watch a Mel Brooks film, what should I watch?" Which one are you guys going to suggest to them?
My personal favorite is Spaceballs. I'll get that out there. If you're gonna watch Mel Brooks to see like a defining Mel Brooks movie, I'd say History of the World Part 1.
Ooh, that was a sleeper answer. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay, because see, Matt says Blazing Saddles, which is that's what I thought you were gonna go with, like a classic Mel Brooks that you have.
I've seen Blazing Saddles once. I've seen History of the World Part 1 much more often.
Yeah, so maybe that's part of the reason.
History of the World Part 1 better.
Lee says Spaceballs. Oh, sorry, Matt. RoboCop was 87. I should have. I had my years wrong. Oh well. Gene Wilder is a perfect movie, Matt. So I think my personal favorite, and I think the classic answer see, here's the thing. This is another thing. I haven't seen the original Producers. I've only seen the remake, and that's the one I really like. And I feel like people should watch either version of the Producers. Because, I mean, Spaceballs, a lot of people are going to see anyways, and that's probably, I'm influencing my answer a little bit. But I feel like Producers really kind of gets to the Mel Brooks. It's not as in your face as Blazing Saddles can get, because, I think some people nowadays might get put off by Blazing Saddles. I think it's still a great movie. But I think Producers, well, I don't know. Geez, now it's 2017, and given recent history events, maybe Producers isn't the best movie people might need to see. But I really like the Producers as far as Mel Brooks classics go, and I think that's what they need to see.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at my list here,
yes.
I think after all the withering scorn I just endured.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that would probably be my vote too. Although it gave me movies he was in as well, so I was over here going, the Muppet movie, but I don't know.
Okay, so Producers.
I was like, I had no idea Mel Brooks directed the Muppet movie. He didn't. But
Henson did.
Yeah, Henson. That makes sense. But I mean, Spaceballs is great, but the Producers I think is better.
Yeah, Lee says Spaceballs is a need. Travis is
Young
going with Young
really
Frankenstein,
good, yeah.
and Vanessa also says Spaceballs. I think Spaceballs is the more generic classic movie.
It's the most inoffensive.
Yeah, yeah.
That still maintains a good quality.
Correct. I will agree with that, and I think Producers and Blazing Saddles are on the far end of him getting offensive. So maybe. Well, I don't know. History of the World Part 1 wasn't that offensive, and it was still pretty spot on.
It's offensive enough, but it's broadly offensive enough that it's not like Blazing Saddles. You use of the N-word, and the portrayal of African Americans. Not that that's what Mel Brooks personally thought, but it was a spoof of all the that kind of ideas at the time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that was more, so that was a more directed offensiveness.
Yeah, I don't know. Gene Wilder and not the Producers. Well, he was good in the Producers too. But in Blazing Saddles, though, is just spot on. Like, he wasn't even the original pick, because the guy who originally played the Frisco Kid got he was having problems with pills or alcohol or something, and eventually Mel Brooks had to let him go, and he was having all sorts of issues. There's a story there. I just can't remember all of it right now.
What's issues?
Thank you. Matt's not even here for us to nag him for that.
He's listening.
That's enough. That means it's enough that he's listening. Just Gene Wilder in that movie is great, and it's one of my favorite lines in the movie is just because of his delivery, where he's on the bed, and Cleavon Little comes in. He's like, "Are we awake?" And he goes, "Are we black?" And it's just like the way he delivers it. It's not necessarily offensive. It's just like, all right, that's not where I was expecting you to go with that, but all right. Gene Wilder's the best.
Well, that kind of wraps it up. We have infinity more movies. We could talk about that. We should have seen. This could go on forever. Alex, our buddy who didn't join in tonight, but was chatting on our Facebook page, which we keep live and populated throughout the week with awesome content that we would love for you to join us and discuss, was talking about the IMDb top 250. His was only one he hasn't seen, which I had never heard of. But
all the way down at 36. He'd already seen the first 35.
He's seen all of them, but that one particular one. So, all right. Well, Alex, obviously you fail. Everybody.
What are you doing with your life?
Everybody else, let us know, what do we absolutely need to see? Obviously, I will see Lethal Weapon and RoboCop and Die Hard. I don't know what else I've been doing. Oh, and Terminator 2.
And Aliens.
Yep.
It's a lot of 80s movies.
I have a lot of movies to see. Yes,
I ever noticed that this list is influenced by what we watched when we were growing up?
Basically.
Well,
and I think that's part of it. Is like
it is.
A lot of mine is 80s movies that I've seen, but I've missed like a lot of some of the 90s stuff that I probably should have seen. I don't know what I was doing in the 90s. Probably whatever.
Oh, growing up.
Yeah, being a kid. I don't know.
How dare you?
I know. So yeah, that's.
Well, as always, leave us a review, please. If you get a second, just throw some stars up. We would very much appreciate it. It'll help us battle the Facebook algorithm that seeks to bury us further and further every day. Also,
pushing.
Give us a follow on Twitter at Pop Show. We are a super awesome podcast
Sorry,
now.
Dean, that image is probably covering your head right now. Yes, it is.
There it is. Sorry, Dean.
No one wants to see me anyway.
Don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yes.
Follow us at Pop Show, and there you can see our 3 Twitter handles. Just pretend that Dean's not here.
Well, for those listening, because we are in podcast form now. Sarah is at Sarah Janet Hill. I'm at VA Pianist. Matt, who is not here tonight, is at Have Issues. What's issues? I just need to get that to drop. I'm just going to record a drop saying what's issue, so I can just push a button.
You should.
What's issues.
That way you don't have to speak with your mouth like a peasant.
Dean doesn't have Twitter, but he does contribute to our blog/website on a regular basis, which is poppedshow.com. Henry, another guest host on the show, also writes about his TV, shows that he's watching, his reviews.
He just did a great one about the most recent Walking Dead.
Yep, they just had their 100th episode. So he kind of broke that down for us. And Facebook.com/PopShow, which Sarah mentioned at the top here. And for those of you guys watching on Facebook, thank you guys for watching. But in case you miss an episode, say you missed last week when Matt, no, you actually don't listen to that episode. Say you missed 2 weeks ago when Sarah wasn't here and it was just Matt and me. And I believe, Dean, you were on that one as well 2 weeks ago. Believe
maybe 3
weeks ago. Anyways, we are now a podcast, so you guys can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Stitcher is in the works as we speak right now. So if you guys ever miss a show, which you shouldn't, because we like having you guys here, you guys can listen to us on the go now while you're at work or driving a car, or I don't know, what do other people do? I'm not really good at this socializing thing.
Go jogging?
Light rail.
Yes, if they're riding the light rail or local transit system.
You could also be still and listen to a podcast.
You could.
You don't have to be moving.
I mean, you could just plank and just listen to our podcast. I don't know why you would, but I mean, you could.
That is a possible scenario.
It is.
This is getting weird. We better play
you could bike.
The exit music.
You go swimming. Wouldn't advise it, but
don't.
No.
Hit the button that plays the thing.
Oh, the theme song?
Yes.
Which...
There it is.
There it is. A little loud. Oh, I got to really work on that transition. There we go. Okay. So that music is a certain Maniac Mansion remix from our buddy Fingers out of Richmond, Virginia.
Yep, he's awesome.
Fingers with, instead of an I, it's a 1. Instead of an E, it's a 3. Check him out. He does a lot of little remixes like this. So, Dean, thanks for hanging out this week.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for filling in. Matt, keep enjoying yourself in Disney.
Oh, it went away.
I don't know why it went away.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Let's see here.
There
we go.
It goes.
I know what happened. I hit the space bar on the machine here. Matt, keep having fun Disney. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We won't be here for the show next week, correct, Sarah?
Yeah, we're taking next week off because it's Halloween, so we're all going to be binging red wine and candy. I mean,
like it.
Oh, that's my plan.
It works. And not going to have any... Maybe we should watch like Halloween movies or something.
I'll watch... we can watch Spaceballs.
Okay, let's watch Spaceballs then. All right. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. And remember, if you guys are here locally in Norfolk, Virginia, Saturday the 28th, Local Heroes is having their Halloween party in Norfolk, Virginia over in the Ghent area. And you guys are invited because you listened and or watched Popped. So let us know if you guys are coming Saturday. And we will see you in 2 weeks, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Later.